What's up, everybody? It's your boy GD Fitz here. BSN presents Tell the Truth Sports Talk Radio. I got my man, the best barber in the game, Eddie Randall. Look like he just rolled out of the bed. It's okay.
Oh,
Hope
out
he
of
brushed
bed.
his teeth, yo.
I did that.
Then I got my man Marcus, the artist, the
man.
writer. What's going on, yo?
I need a cooler name, yo.
You need
Best
a
barber
cooler
ever, GD Fitz. I need a cooler name, yo.
You gotta come up with a name.
Next time I'm gonna have like a nickname. I'm gonna make my own nickname, yo.
That's the same thing he did. That's the same
the
thing.
Artist formerly known as Prince. He said the artist.
I gotta get a better name, yo. I gotta come up with a cool nickname.
You gotta come up with a nickname, yo, to support the brand and keep it rolling. But look, we got a lot we're gonna talk about. We gotta talk about these ducks in boxing, from the lightweights, middleweights, hell,
everywhere,
even heavyweights, everywhere they duck.
Everywhere.
We gotta talk about the ducking. We also gotta talk about teams getting their bubbles bust inside of the NBA bubble pause. We don't want to make it seem a little too crazy out here with that, but we got to talk about that. And we got to talk about the Power 5 conferences in the NCAA and the decisions that may be getting ready to come down in reference to the pandemic and playing football. But I got to go here first. Big time breaking news. I had to get more than just me and Eddie on. I'm trying to get a couple more people to chime in and call in. If anybody want to join and jump in, I will send them the Zoom link so they can talk about this. But we're talking about a topic. Deion Sanders, Hall of Fame cornerback, played in the NFL for years, former Defensive Player of the Year, two-time Super Bowl champion, made a valid statement that I thought was is real critical to really debate it, because it's a tough thing to talk about, and it's about players opting out in all sports. So as you know, we got the pandemic going on, and a lot of people have been opting out of playing their respective seasons, be it for health issues, because that's what it's primarily about, not just for themselves, but their families. But Deion came out and made a statement. All players opting out in all sports, please believe the game will go on without you. This is a business, and don't you ever forget that. There's no one that's bigger than the game itself. Only the refs, umps, and officials are that important that you can't play without them, not you. Hashtag truth. So I got two people with two different sides of this right here on the Zoom. I'm going to start with you, the writer. I'm going to start with the writer, yo. I got to go with his angle first.
You sure?
Sure? I got to go with you first. You first. Let's get your side of this.
That shit was fucking lame. You know why that shit was lame? That shit was lame because you got an ex-player telling current players that the refs, the umps, and whomever else that he probably did not like while he was playing are the most important thing on the football field. One. Two, the statement was obvious as fuck. Anybody that plays sports knows if I don't play, the sport's going to continue without me. It was very obvious. Thirdly, it was sassy. He said this shit with caps in the middle of it. He was yelling. He was pretty much being NFL shield man when, as far as I know, none of the players have opted out and said, I'm opting out, and said it in a way to whereas it would have seemed as if that they were, getting to the point that the league can't go on without me, so I'm opting out, or causing a bunch of commotion. None of them said any of that. Most of them are opting out because of health reasons, family health reasons, or they just don't feel comfortable because nobody knows what the hell is with like this shit. They talking about now all types of side effects after you get over it and a whole bunch of other shit. And the NFL's not going to be in a bubble. They're going to be traveling and they're going to be playing. You can't protect me, so I'm not playing. Him saying what he said and being who he is, when most of them do like this, we talking about the dude who, when Marshawn Lynch wasn't interviewing with nobody, interviewed with Deion Sanders and said, yo, I'm gonna talk to you because you the OG. And this is what you're saying when nobody's like, you responding to nobody, unless, like I said to you earlier, unless this is a little, slide jab that he throwing at Odell. That's the only way it makes sense. Because that's the only person I see out there saying that and coming off as kind of arrogantly, talking about the opting out, staying in, not playing shit. Because he's not opting out, but he keep talking shit about the NFL for continuing the season. Other than that, it don't make sense.
Okay. Response time.
Well, this all stemmed from NFL Network when they first were talking about the pandemic stuff. And Dion kind of made this same comment on air, just not as,
Sassy.
in his own word. He didn't say it in his own words like he did on his Twitter. But for me, I mean, the man was just talking real facts. That's just like anything in life. Everybody's replaceable. Wherever you go, in most cases, if you're not Patrick Mahomes, you replaceable. You definitely replaceable. And for a lot of these Kelly, the guy from Buffalo, who's been doing a bunch of talking about, his family and how he don't want to play, and then all of a sudden he's still going to play. Yo, we all know they replaceable. And he was just giving them, but with him being the OG, he was giving them the real truth.
Yeah, but everybody know that truth. He didn't have to say it. I could understand it.
But if it came from a lane, you don't listen.
Right, but it can come from Dion. Listen, Dion calls niggas every Sunday via cell phone and interviews them. He could have easily called anybody that he has issues with saying whatever they saying and talk to them personally. Doing it on TV and Twitter and all of that shit, it's grandstanding, kind of making you seem like, you know what it seems like? He seems like the guy that if everybody were to hold out because of whatever reason, say there's a strike, he seems like the guy that's going to cross the picket line. That's what he sounds like right now. Because he's saying some shit that's obvious.
He's
like
a picket line jumper, yo.
Everybody, listen, you can walk upstairs and ask your son right now, yo, if you play on the football team and you don't play, will the football team continue? Yes, everybody knows that. It's Captain Obvious. If you go read his statement or go look at it, if he said that and he was a woman, we would call him sassy. No shade to the women. No shade to the women. But if you look at the way it typed out with the, caps, certain places, it sounded like he sucked his teeth while he was saying that.
No. What that looked like to me, like I said, with two different opinions, it's a question that he's probably tired of hearing. And
then don't answer it.
Like it was huh?
Then don't answer it.
Yeah,
don't throw the players under the bus.
Yeah, but then he's probably, like you say, he's probably not even talking to the head dude, because none of the stars of the NFL are really talking about the diva of the NFL. So
and that's my point.
It could be somewhat of a jab to Odell, but I'm still like, if you told me that and you my homie, even if an OG told me like, yo, if you don't go to work, yo, you're not there. You might not have a job when you get back. You're replaceable. I respect it coming from somebody who is from a genuine place. We don't even know him from a bad place.
If you tell me, cool. But if you go on Facebook and post that shit after me and you had that conversation, it's not the same. He could have easily just called and talked to whomever. As opposed to, like, what he did kind of seemed like, yo, he's throwing it. Mind you, we come in from a situation where, say like in basketball, right? Every former player that says something about the current players, what do the players do? Every time. Every fucking time. It's the same thing. Like, yo, you talking about the nigga who made Must Be the Money. You made Must Be the Money. Like, you were the diva of divas in the league, right? So even if he is jabbing Odell Beckham, like, yo, you were way worse than Odell Beckham. Now, Odell Beckham's nowhere on your fucking stratosphere in terms of level of play, but you were a diva. So even if your problem is you think that Odell's being a diva, like, yo, you could have called Odell as opposed to being a former player throwing players under the bus for opting out or not opting out, whatever. He could have just called niggas. It's Dion. Like think about this. Think about if Max Kellerman or Mike Greeny or one of them said this. We'd be all over him.
Well, I mean, this is not the first time it's been said.
No, he said it before.
No, he said it. Stephen A. said it.
And we talked bad about Stephen A. when he said it. I remember. Again, I remember the backlash when Stephen A. said that shit.
Now, some people gave him backlash. Some people was like, "Yo, but it's not a lie."
It's not a lie. He just shouldn't have said it. Like again, pointing out that the league's gonna go on if you don't play is obvious. Like that's low hanging fruit. Like yo, we know this. Everybody knows this. This is common knowledge.
Well, I mean, if you're explaining it to it in that way, it sounds womanish. Again, no offense, ladies, but me personally, I don't see nothing wrong with what he said. It stems off of everything that's going on, and it comes from a lot of these players. What the guys say, we feel like we slaves. They're forcing us to play. No, nobody's forcing you to do nothing.
But they kind of are. Their problem. Once again, it all boils down to their problem being their weak ass players association. Because
but I mean,
if you don't play, you don't get paid. Because if you don't play, you don't get paid.
So what, I mean, is that life? In that life?
No, because baseball players, if they don't play, they still get paid. That shit guaranteed. Same thing with basketball players.
Okay, we know that basketball and baseball going to get paid, and then basketball only going to get paid a certain percentage.
Correct.
Baseball going to get the full demonstration, but I'm saying
I don't even know baseball getting a full. They had did some shit, but whatever.
They get whatever they supposed to get paid. They said they getting all this. Baseball was like we don't care.
Yeah.
The players said we don't care. We want all our money. But what I'm saying is in life, because we people keep saying, "Oh, it's a game. It's a game. It's just a game." So if you treat it like a game, you treat it like this. If you don't go to work, you don't get paid. That's a life thing.
True. If that was the point, if the beef was, it was players complaining about having to opt out and not get paid, and he said this, I'd be cool with it because you signed up for it. Here's what the deal is: you play and get paid, or you don't play and you don't get paid. If that was the issue in the beef, cool, no beef with what he said. But I haven't heard anybody say that. I've only heard niggas say, "Yo, I'm opting out." That's it. And to say, "Yo, if you opting out, if what he's saying is in response to players opting out, I have a problem with that. If it's in response to, if it's a jab at somebody that says something else, that's out of the way and out of the realm of that, something different. Like if he's responding to the slave comment or whatever you was talking about, or responding to Odell, different.
Let me get in there though real quick, because I get it when everybody's saying it could be a subtle or a subliminal shot at Odell. But I can't say it's really at Odell because he did say all players opting out in all sports. So he's kind of throwing it at everybody to try to make it, seem like
it's to try to hide it if it's a jab.
He's trying to, cover it up. But my thing is, and I'm looking at it from both sides now. Remember, I said I'm going to play 50-50 on this. I look at a guy like Damian Williams. From my understanding, him opting out, he just said it was because of the concerns of the pandemic. But his replacement was also bought in before we even jumped here. You get what I'm saying? Like his replacement was bought in via the draft. So when his replacement comes in, it's like, all right, I see that they got a guy that they're getting ready to put in this spot. Regardless, he opts out because that keeps his market value valuable next season. Because if, let's say, Shorty from LSU decides to basically go out there and have a better camp and have better numbers. We've seen it before in an Andy Reid system with Kareem Hunt.
Correct.
Kareem Hunt came out of nowhere, took a job, became the marquee running back. Same thing could have happened here. Damian Williams would have been the running back on the outside looking in. But if you opt out, now you got a better market because everybody's going to remember the last thing that you did, which was score 3 touchdowns in the playoffs and be a major point in a Super Bowl win. And you healthy. So it's like, okay, cool. I gotta look at him for that. But if he plays on Kansas City this season and he doesn't do well, guess what? His market value goes down. So I'm looking at it from, that's why I said I gotta look at it from both sides of it. Because as a business wise, yeah, as an NFL, I want my business to keep flowing. I want them to keep playing because I'm looking at another successful business, the NBA. They did it. Now I also look at
they did it safely though.
Right, that's what I'm going at. But I also look at another business, MLB, who hasn't done it correctly, and we see what's going on over there. Every week we've had at least 3 games get postponed because of the pandemic, right? So you have to look at all of that. The NFL still has time to make the correct moves. Now, will they? I doubt it. And it's because it's about teams and money. Just like them saying they want to bring fans to the game. I doubt it. So when I see players opt out, like all of the players with the Patriots, that's safety issues. A lot of that is safety issues. Like, I don't want to play. I get it. I wouldn't want to play either. But I also see Eddie's point of it is, man, it's a job. You can lose your job. So I'm playing 50-50 on this.
But see, the problem with that, with saying, all right, it's a job, you can lose your job. Pandemic or no pandemic, you can lose your job. You get injured, you can lose your job. Somebody comes in and performs well, you can lose your job. You say some shit that they don't like, you can lose your job. Again, it's obvious. We all know this. Him saying that only hurts the players because it's Dion. That's my issue with it. Like he don't have like a point that he's making that's like some eureka shit or some shit that we just wasn't thinking about. Like all the players that opted out know they're not getting paid. Know the league gonna still play. They know week 1 there's still gonna be games.
Right.
Not the issue. Like they all know that. So for you to say it kind of seems like the problem I have with it is it seems like he's standing in front of the shield against the players who are opting out. That's how it seems if you look at it. Like saying all of the other shit, like that's what it seems like. All of the bail we throw in him is because it's Dion, and we all love Dion. If it wasn't Dion, we wouldn't be throwing him this bail. Again, if it was Mike Greenberg, or if it was the other Greenie, or imagine if Colin Cowherd said this shit. The internet would go fucking crazy. If a Colin Cowherd had said this shit, the internet would have went nuts.
Now you gotta use a better example. Use the black guy that got booted off ESPN. If Whitelock would have said it, we'd have choked his ass.
We'd have killed Whitelock on Twitter if he said this shit. We'd have called him all kinds of coons and all types of shit if Whitelock would have said it. But we only throwing him bail because it's Dion.
But Whitelock is a traditional coon. You know,
he's a coon though. But yeah, he's a coon. But that's why, and you're right. I mean, I give him somewhat of a pass because he's not going to. I don't think Dion's going to say something that's going to. I don't think it comes off as hurting you.
Dion might not have meant it. He might not have meant it that way.
That's what I'm saying. Right.
But when it comes out, when it comes out and people challenge him on it because of his ego, he's not going to admit that he was wrong. He's just going to double down.
Yeah, but like I said, again, it just he can say it, and it don't seem that bad because it's like it's not coming from a bad place. It really, I don't.
That's the thing. We don't know that. The shit sounded sassy.
It was Dion. You think Dion?
But everything Dion, hold up now. Everything Dion does is sassy. We know this.
It don't sound. It might be over the top, but it don't sound sassy.
You just mentioned must be the money.
That wasn't sassy. It was chicks dancing naked all through the video. It wasn't sassy.
That was the sassy. Sassy. What you mean?
He looked and dressed like.
Look, the man was dancing in a suit with no shirt underneath of the fucking suit jacket.
That was the whole that was the whole 80s and early 90s. That was normal then.
That ain't our fault that's what he was doing and it was still sassy.
My G, that was the whole era they did that. Like,
I love
you remember all of them wearing crop tops? They was all wearing crop tops.
I definitely get it. Andre Rison, when they had the matchup down in Atlanta, we was just looking at talk about that last week.
Right.
Dion in the fight. Yeah, I get it.
I love Dion to death. But if I sit here and quote the lyrics, you sassy, sassy guy. Okay? He was a sassy guy. You see when he came to the game, on
Yeah,
the jet, he was sassy. He's always
it was
been a little
definitely
sassy. So I mean, it's Dion. So yeah, it's
Again, though,
sassy.
I'm
But
gonna
I
just
mean,
keep it. I'm gonna just keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't think Dion is too far gone and wrong in this situation. I actually like what he's saying, but I get it when people take the words and go a whole nother route with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are dealing with something that's serious that we don't know about.
right.
And everybody got to be cautious with it. But at the same time, when you're looking at it as a coach, as an owner, and we see a player who's, and I'm just being real, when they get ready to get paid, most guys play. We talked about this last week on the show in the NBA. Niggas could have opted out. Look at Avery Bradley. He opted out, and he know he on a 1-year deal, but he wasn't about money. It was about health. But a lot of these dudes, when they know they about to get paid, they gonna play.
So when Avery Bradley opted out, who else opted out? Harold opted out, or is he?
Ariza opted out because he couldn't get with his kids. So that was different.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many NBA legends came out and said what Dion said about the NBA?
None of them. Because
that's my point.
That's
my point. That's my point. Even if the ones like Charles Barkley and even Kendrick Perkins, who said some of the dumbest shit with regards to being a player. And
hold up, stop though. You say NBA legends. Kendrick Perkins is not.
Well, he talks on TV. He talks on TV, and he does what Dion did a lot, which is kind of violate unwritten rule. You don't do it, right? Now, some of the shit that he be saying be kind of factual, like you just not supposed to do it as a former player.
Right.
He do this shit all the time. I ain't heard him say one thing about motherfuckers opting out in this way.
And you shouldn't though. I mean, I don't think you should. I don't think you should. I don't think you should say anything about somebody opting out because this is about health, not about the game.
Right.
But I know what I'm looking at from when I read it the first time. I had to go read it this morning because Eddie, you the one that brought it up to me, my attention.
Right.
I had to go read it this morning. I'm like, he's really talking about players that can actually still play on the field, physically looking good on the field. That's not at the back end of the careers. And he could be throwing a jab at Odell because of Odell's wishy-washy statements that he's been saying. He could be. But I just know, for me, if it was up to me, if I'm in the coach's role and I got a player and I'm like, yo, come on, man, please, I want you to play. Why? Because it's going to make me look good. It helps my team win. But if I'm
basically, if you're a coach or owner, you saying, yo, I get it, you could die, but I want you to win me some football games.
But here's the thing. That's what they all looking at. Like, you could all die.
Right.
That's what the owner is looking at, though.
Exactly.
That's what they're looking at.
What I'm saying is that's why Dion shouldn't have said shit. He could just
leave it alone.
He could have said that to them personally. Like, if he had a problem with what Odell was saying right now, you think he can't pick the phone up and call Odell Beckham? He tell us almost every show how he talks to almost damn near every player in the league that's worth
But
something.
you're the one that's saying that it could possibly be a shot at Odell Beckham.
If it's a shot at anybody, the Odell shit is just like an opinion. Maybe it is because Odell is the only one that I hear saying things where I could see where this would match, where this could be a response to. Because I ain't heard none of the rest of them say nothing.
The guy from Buffalo, he just been.
I ain't really heard his statements.
He's been all over.
I think I seen the slave shit. Okay, so it could be a jab at him too.
He's been all over the thing saying we slaves and this how the white man treats.
That's my other thing though, because that's bullshit. Because you can't really say that because again, let's go back into what Marcus was saying. If you don't want to play, you don't have to play. You can opt out right now. So I can't say, oh, they treating you like a slave. That's a choice. You still got a choice if you want to play or not. You still have time. I know we talked about that last week.
Based on y'all defense of Dion and what he said, what the guy is saying is kind of truthful.
No, it's not. Because
how is it not?
Option. Watch this, right? Let's say you opt out. And the team says, all right, cool. I'm gonna go sign Eddie as my new cornerback because White decided to opt out. That's the one in Buffalo, right?
Yeah.
He opts out. White's talent when he comes back next year is still going to be good enough to get him on a team in the league. It's completely different. That's why I don't agree with. That's why I said I'm playing 50-50 in what Dion's saying. Everybody is not in that boat. Some guys might be in that boat, like a Damian Williams, because I think Damian Williams is a product of a system that he did well in. Because remember, when he's in Miami, he wasn't that good. He get to Kansas City, he looked a lot better because of the system that they ran. I don't think he could go to another team and be as good as he has been in Kansas City over the last 2 years because it's a system. So that's a character that would be at the back end of a situation like this. Whereas White is an all-pro cornerback.
Right.
If Buffalo let him go, I'm pretty sure the Browns will want to pick him up. The Dolphins will go pick him up. Somebody pick him up because he's one of the top cornerbacks in the game. So it's
I
a
think
complete
the slave shit though. I think the shit that he's saying is not what you're referring to though. He's referring to like how a lot of them feel like once they're under contract, pretty much the owners and the league say, yo, do what we say because we said it.
Okay.
And when they question certain shit, they don't really get responses or answers. It's just like, yo, do what we say because we said it. I think that's the slave mentality that they're referring to. Like the whole shit with the Houston owner that said what he said. Or even, you know, your guy down in Dallas who said when we was doing the whole kneeling thing, hey, anybody that kneels on my team won't be playing for Dallas anymore. I think that's what they're referring to. Not, you know, if I get cut or what. Like they're referring to that type of mentality. In my mind, that's what I think. But
I don't think they're doing that in this situation, though. That's my thing. In this situation alone, I don't think that any owner or any one of them are actually going to do that because that's going to look so bad. PR wise.
I don't think it's that way. I think it's like when Odell keeps saying, yo, we asking for information and asking questions
and they don't have
answers. Right.
Okay.
Now, I would say, yo, if you're not getting answers because they don't have them, then you can't beef about that because nobody knows what the fuck's going on. So we don't have the answers yet. It's because there are no fucking answers. Mm-hmm. Now, if we're hiding the answers because we just want you to play, that would make his, you know, beef valid. I don't know if knowing Odell, they probably just don't have the answers and he beefing because he's just, you know, a diva and he just wants his questions answered. Yo, if they don't know, they don't know. Like, my nigga, we don't know how to, like, we don't know. We don't know when y'all gonna play. We don't know travel shit. We don't know.
I don't think nobody in the situation knows right now, and that's gonna go into our next topic because, again, we haven't seen any sport play at this capacity with this many people at one time. You get what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And even in the NBA circle, in their bubble, it's only 10 guys on the court at a time, and they got it spaced out perfectly with their social distancing for the players on the bench. They have it set up. The NFL, how can you social distance 53 guys?
And bleed and sweat over each other.
And they're literally on top of each other. And then we talking about 22 guys on the field, not including the referees, right? Mm-hmm. So it's different. Like you have to look back and say, well, how can we make this work here in the NFL? And I don't think they have an answer. And I don't think they're gonna come up with the answer. Because then like Eddie, and you know this, it's nowhere in the world they're gonna be able to play quote unquote soft football, like flag football. It's not gonna happen.
You hurt yourself.
You're gonna get hurt. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna wind up either playing half of the season or you're gonna shut down. And I think that's where the response from the players is coming. Like, what do we do if we get caught into a pandemic situation like MLB? Do we shut it all down? How can we fix this? How can we make it work? It's going to be very, very difficult, man. And I really think that going forward, it might not be an NFL season. And if it is, it might be like a strike season where you play 5 games, shut it down, come back in the spring.
But you know, they were talking about the 2-week season. Instead of it being every week, because you know it takes 14 days for you to quarantine.
They would have to shorten it to 8 games then or something, probably.
Have
right?
to.
Yeah.
You
and they were talking about every other week to give them time to, you know, if they did have it, time to get it together. That's another thing they would talk about outside of the helmets that they're redoing and others. They are trying some things. You know, I don't know if it's enough, but they trying something.
This is my only issue on the NFL with that. You're trying some things. Season is supposed to start in almost a little bit over a month. So how can you say, oh, we're gonna try something, right? We're gonna try some things.
Yeah, they throwing darts at a wall right now.
You don't have no way of getting it done in 30 days and making it work. Best case scenario, if it's me, I'm shutting everything down and saying we ain't starting on time until we either get quote unquote bubbles for these football teams, which they could do, because it could be 4 cities where you could have these games played at and balance out the schedule where you only play 8 or 9 games and get that to the playoffs. And then once those teams go to the playoffs, we now have a de facto bubble for the playoff teams to make these games work. I mean, it could happen. You might wind up getting games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday to balance it out. You could do that too. But everybody wants to be in their cities. Everybody want to do what they want to do, and it's going to hurt. Trust me, it's going to hurt, man. It's going to hurt big time. So the NFL, Deion Sanders, the starter of the riff. He gave us something to talk about for a couple of days in the NFL. You know,
that's all it was.
There ain't no preseason football games, so you got to talk about something, right? Ain't no training camp debates to find out who gonna make the team or what right now, because they don't know.
Yeah, this shit crazy.
They just don't know. Let's switch gears real quick though. Let's go over to NCAA. This is a quick one right here. NCAA, the Power 5 conferences, all the athletic commissioners of the Power 5 from the ACC, SEC, Pac-12, Big Ten. They all coming up with a meeting. They've been meeting the last couple of days, but it's a real possibility that they may move the games to the spring. And it kind of goes back to the NFL, what we just finished talking about. If college football moves their games to the spring, do you see the NFL moving their games potentially to the spring just for this upcoming season?
I think they should. I don't know if they will, though.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Ed?
That's what I agree on. I'm thinking the same thing. It would be smart, but they won't. I think they 2 balls in now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're gonna move it.
See, me, I think if college football decides to move it to the spring, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt the young guys like the Trevor Lawrences that's coming out. Because now if you go see him and that's a perfect person I'm gonna talk about, Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence is in a situation where if he plays and he gets hurt, his draft stock goes down. And I think it make it even worse, because now if the NFL starts on time and they play it out and you see where you're going to be positioned at already before the spring football hits, do you play or do you say, I'm going to sit back and wait one more year?
Not if you already see. If I already see where I'm at,
I'm in the top 5, top 10,
I ain't playing.
I'm chilling.
I wash my hands.
I'll let y'all at the combine. I'm chilling.
And that's my point, because it hurts everything. Imagine if the college football say, all right, we're moving it to March and NFL runs their season. If I'm Trevor Lawrence, yeah, I'm going to sign this insurance waiver to get some money in case I do get hurt. Oh, matter of fact, I got a hangnail. Yeah, I'm done for the season. I'm done.
Chilling.
Because I know I'm the number 1 pick. But then it hurts a program like Clemson, because who's coming in to help them win? I know Trevor Lawrence don't care, but you still got to keep your job at Clemson as the coach.
It's a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
It all affects you. It's going to affect you somewhere. It's going to be a positive. It's going to be a negative.
Man,
it's pros and cons of everything.
It's not good.
It's not. This whole thing is not good.
And I give the NBA this. And the best thing that happened to the NBA, that it happened while they were in the middle of their season, so they could really sit back, evaluate some things, and make some moves. So now the NBA do their bubble. They push everything back, and they can get away with it, because we just seen a few years ago when the NBA started their season, when they had a dispute between the union and the owners, they started their season on Christmas. That's what's been projected now going forward. You can start your season Christmas, minimize some games, and still keep everything afloat inside of a quote unquote bubble if they decide to continue the bubble aspect. But you move everything back and it's okay. Like NBA drafted players that's coming up. We got a real deep NBA draft coming up, but it didn't hurt none of them. All it did was say, yo, y'all didn't play for 4 months. You just stay in shape. you still going to get drafted. You're going to be
the dudes
good.
that just would have skyrocketed doing what they do normally through the tournament, they might have lost, a chance. But it's like, yo, you still got a year at least worth of tape.
A prime example, Emmanuel Quickly goes out, wins SEC Player of the Year his sophomore year at Kentucky. I personally thought he wasn't ready to come out of the NBA. But because he had a very good season and looked good during it, right before the March Madness hit, his draft stock might be going up depending on what he do in individual workouts. Right. That's a good thing for kids. But imagine if he goes into the NCAA tournament and he doesn't have a good NCAA tournament. He probably ain't coming out. He probably staying at college for one more year. So it's all that is playing into it. We all talk about the NFL just getting it started. Listen, might be the best thing to make it wait a little bit, because then you might get more quality football. You never know. You never know, man. Because I think back into the bubble, what we can already talk about, we've watched some quality basketball in the bubble. Can we all agree on that?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
These are actually pretty damn good games in this bubble.
Yeah, the bubble
defense.
Perfect.
No defense.
Yeah, no defense at all.
No, it's summer league. We're in the summer league.
The worst thing about the bubble is the Washington Wizards. Who invited them? They should have never been invited. That's the only thing about the bubble. They have yet to win one game in the bubble.
Don't make me talk about Washington. You know how I feel about anything in Washington. So
I don't want to talk about them. Let's not talk about them.
Hold on, yo. Tell me something about Washington. Yo, I need you to say the statement, yo. I need you to do your statement, yo. Come on, please, yo. We need it here.
Anybody on my page, anybody in YouTube, you're gonna get offended. Ask me, do I care? Fuck everything about DC. Don't like it. So what? It is what it is.
You like Stadium?
I like Stadium.
Yeah, well, guess what? Okay? I'll tell you something that I did to that stadium, but I'd probably get locked up for it. So F that stadium. I hate the stadium. Hate everything. Only thing I like Alex Smith. That was it.
He's a warrior. I give him that. He's a warrior. I gotta give him kudos for what he's coming.
And Adrian Peterson by default.
But he's not really from He's not really Washington.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's Minnesota.
I'm not drafting anybody from them either in the fantasy league.
They don't have a name. I can't. I can't do that. So they have no name.
I said it in the group chat. I am not selecting anyone from the Washington football team. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it.
Greg drafted McLaurin.
No, not now. Not now. If Haskins is the quarterback, I can't take him. He's a fuck up.
He's not even a quarterback, is he?
He the starter.
That's tough.
That's what the dude from Carolina was.
Well, it might be him.
Alex Smith's clear, right?
Alex Smith is clear. But it's a 3. That's another reason why I'm not drafting him. You got 3 quarterbacks. You don't know which one's going to be the guy. Me personally, I'm putting Alex Smith out there because he got money. He got a lot of money on the contract.
Yeah, and now your tight end is gone.
It's funny how he said he was going to retire, then he went and signed with somebody else after he quote unquote retired.
He did.
Yeah, he went to Tampa Bay.
No, he
went to 49ers. With the 49ers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy with him and Kittles, but go ahead. That's crazy.
Look, you can tell you gearing up for the NFL. So before we go deep, because I forgot. We did say we were going to do this today. The top 5 fantasy NFL tight ends in the game. Top 5.
Again, for all you fantasy bums, I'm not giving out major tips. Just giving you what you already know.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting here looking at this page, trying to get pointers.
So who's the number 1 tight end?
Travis.
That's Kelsey.
All right, we got Kelsey. We all in agreement with that. Number 2, I'm going with Kittle.
Yeah, I would say Kittle.
Number 3, I'm going with my man in Philly.
Zach.
I gotta go with Mr. Ertz, man. That's number 3 for
Zach
me.
Ertz. Number
4,
Andrews.
Mark Andrews in Baltimore. And number 5.
That's when
I think 3 through 5, you just kind of like
I give you number 5.
You can
Waller in Las Vegas. They always losing. It's fantasy. They're losing.
But then look at what's the dude who just came? Remember how Hooper career looked in Atlanta? Mm-hmm. But now you got the dude from Baltimore in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
It look at it all depends on your quarterback. Even though look at Henry Hunter, because Hunter's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So and then don't forget about the dude.
Let's
the
not
guy in
forget about
Seattle.
Grump. Let's not forget about Drizzle, and let's not forget about Grump. I give you that.
Right, the guy in Seattle. So
Well, guess what you just did? Guess what you just did? You giving out a little bit of your fantasy football, man.
Yeah, I know.
Saying?
I got two guys. That I would put in the top 5. I'm not mentioning this shit though.
Yeah, but again, that's
I'm not mentioning them too.
He already done did it though. He done
No, he
told
didn't.
his whole. He done told
I'm
his
not
8
doing
guys
it.
that he want to get right there.
Nah, I'm chilling. I'm not saying shit about shit.
You can't say it
No,
all.
but I'm just saying it's that last spot. It's a plethora of guys we can put there.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like how we
Yeah,
can
at
put
5.
At 5 because we got four majors because they are the target.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
The other 5 have receivers who they're going to get the ball first.
Okay.
That's why that one is kind of a up and down thing.
It is. It's going to be a real iffy on that one right there.
Yeah.
And then we're not even. It's going to be somebody that pop up that we ain't heard about.
Always.
Yeah, it's going to be 1 or 2 of them.
It's every year is like that. Oh, my fault. I got another one. Taysom Hill, man. My man Taysom Hill's the tight end for the Saints. He gonna be getting that work.
What fucking position is they gonna put him at?
Hold on, they put him at tight end this year?
They was talking about it.
Jesus Christ.
They just gonna have to put your ass weapon.
Yeah, he just
let
Weapon
him
X.
float.
He's Weapon X.
Jesus. Matter of fact, how was Greg Olson's in Seattle? It's a lot of.
Hey, yo, come on, you gotta shut up. We gotta go to the next topic because he's starting to say shit now.
Right. See?
He's just talking and running his mouth.
He gotta shut the hell up.
Like, so look,
you're right.
Let's go back over to the NBA. So in the NBA,
let's cut it. All right.
Teams
Greg,
are starting.
do me a favor. Hold on. Edit this.
All right, I got you. NBA.
Mark this.
Teams are starting to get themselves placed and seated in the NBA's bubble for the playoffs, but we got bigger issues that we got to talk about, and that is injuries to some star players. Big time injuries have hit one team in Pacific. That's the Philadelphia 76ers. Ben Simmons, arguably one of the top 5 young 25 and under players in the game, has left the bubble, done for the season, getting knee surgery. The day after he's gone, Joel Embiid rolls his ankle. I don't know what's going on up there, man, in Philly, man.
We thinking the pandemic is the problem. Boy, they dropping like flies, man. We already see that Russ not playing today. That's another one.
Mm-hmm.
Luka not playing today.
Mm-hmm.
Porzingis not playing today. We already got LeBron who missed time from his groin, and we don't know if it was load management or was it the actual groin. I think matter of fact, no, because Pat Bev is hurt. It's a lot of these players, man, in this bubble. It's scary because if this leaves that opening for teams like Portland,
San Antonio, get ready to happen.
And the look at the Phoenix. I still think the play-in going to be between Phoenix and Portland.
Well, we have got this with the Grizzlies losing another game. It guarantees an 8-9 West play-in tournament. So
definitely. It guarantees it. But I'm looking at it like I looked at the Grizzlies last couple of games. It's going to be Portland and the Suns because the Suns is playing. The Portland and the Suns are playing a whole different level. That's why Nurkic took that jab at Paul George about the boy taking bad shots, but he make them. Listen,
right?
They all playing on a certain level, even Skinny Melo. So this is going to be. I think this is the most interesting thing and most entertaining thing for me to watch is because of this 8-9 situation. Because everything else on the East is not exciting to me. It's nothing exciting.
The East won't get exciting.
Other than right now, the only team that's exciting to me in the East is 2 teams. And I'm not saying it because my man on, but Boston, because they're all playing as a unit right now because Jaylen Brown, look at his game, buddy. That boy balling right now. Jaylen Brown is balling right now because Tatum not even really. I know, Greg, but Tatum hasn't even hit his stride yet.
Look,
Jaylen Brown has been balling, and
Look at him.
even Haywood has been slacked
Watch
up.
this. Let's be realistic here. You on that bullshit. The two teams that's been exciting in the East. The two teams that's been exciting in the East, in
The
my
Raptors
opinion,
and them.
are the Raptors and TJ Warren. He's a team in himself.
Damn.
The boy has been killing. He's been doing his thing. And we get a marquee matchup tonight between TJ Warren and Jimmy Butler.
But guess what? Hold on.
Because they started talking shit the last time that they seen each other.
He's not guaranteed to play today. That's the sad part.
He gonna play.
The injuries.
He gonna play. We got this. That's must see TV.
Now,
look, that's must see TV. I got
it. It is.
Somebody got to fight. Somebody got to fight.
Yeah,
got to.
But Jimmy bought that smoke.
He definitely brought that smoke. Jimmy go swing on him. I'm here for it.
The whole team.
I wanted him to swing on him. Swing on that man.
Now back on the Philly, right? So Embiid is hurt. Ben Simmons is done for the season. Who gotta go?
We
Nobody.
already said it.
I don't think nobody gotta go.
I already said it. That's the coach.
I could agree with that part. I could agree with the coach.
The coach definitely gotta go.
I could agree with that. You know what I hate?
That much talent.
We've seen this shit like 6 or 7 different times where the media creates a narrative that these two players can't play together and everybody just follows the narrative. When they have the proper pieces in place, they look just fine together. The issue has been, we all know that fucking Ben Simmons is not going to shoot. He's not going to shoot threes. Right. All right. So anybody with half of a brain is going to just cheat towards the paint with Embiid. Like, I'm going to sit down here because I know this nigga out here at the three-point line is not shooting, so I don't have to guard him. So then everybody beefs because when Butler and JJ leaves, you know, their spacing kind of different. It's kind of fucked up now. They don't have as many perimeter players out there that you got to worry about. So the spacing fucked up. So, all right, even though I disagree with Embiid shooting as many threes as he does, I say this shit all the time. But when I say it, it's because he does it in the fourth quarter. When he does this shit early in the game to try to create spacing, I'm cool with it. That's what the fuck he's supposed to do. This other nigga not going to shoot. When you do it in the fourth quarter, you know, that's when you get the issues. But having a coach and a GM that can't see that that's the problem, it's kind of like, yo, all right, they don't want them to play together because they keep putting them in positions to fail. Like, you know what you have. You know you have a quote-unquote positionless player in Ben Simmons who you got to put at point guard because he's a point guard. He just doesn't shoot. All right, well, I mean, that shit could work if you just run the team the right way. Like, do the shit necessary. When they was loaded, it was fine. They had no issues. Like, it worked. So, I mean, either pay motherfuckers or...
Funny part is, did you see how, if you watched the game last night, it's actually on TV now, the game between them and Portland, after Embiid went down, they went to the wire with Tobias Harris and Al Horford.
And Dame put up 51, and they what? Went in OT?
Put up 51.
Yeah.
And
good
you know, huh?
It's a good basketball team. They just can't.
It's a good basketball team. It just has to be coached.
It's a good basketball team in the East.
That's what we talking about. Yeah,
but I mean, but even if you took that team to the West and was coached right,
they would be like 10 for 11.
No, they got way more talent.
I don't think they'd be that bad.
Who you putting them over in the West?
Yo, as quiet as it's kept, Embiid is still a top 2 or 3.
All right, cool. I hear everything you saying, but walk through 1 through 8 in the West. Who you putting them over?
All right, so let's go 1 through 8. The Lakers, no.
No.
The Clippers, no.
No.
The Nuggets,
top 6,
no.
The Rockets, no.
No.
But look out, now we get ready to go there because you just start to get a little hesitant now. Utah.
No.
They better than Utah.
They get better than Utah.
They are not better than Utah, yo.
Let me say this. Utah and them are like the same team.
The exact same.
They have the same
team.
You
know why they're not? You know why they're not the same team? because before the whole COVID shit, the quality of team play was not the same between Utah and Philly. Everybody was screaming the whole Ben Simmons, Embiid, one of them have to go. This shit not working for the last
Part of that
3
is
fucking
because of
years.
coaching.
Coaching. That's what we
Fam.
saying.
They have how many superstars on that team?
2.
How
You
many
talking
did they
Philly,
have
right?
last year? Yeah, how many did they have last year?
3.
They had 3 last year.
And they were the 3 seed. They lost to the NBA champion.
They had 3 last year, right? 3. On top of the 2 other motherfuckers that they had that could be a number 1 or number 2 guy on almost any other team. And
Who?
what you mean who?
Yeah, you tell me who. Because Tobias Harris ain't never been no number 1. Should never be nobody's number 1.
Tobias Harris could be a number 1 on a shit team. I'm not calling him a superstar. How much did they pay him? How much did they pay him?
And that was dumb. That's dumb management.
All right.
No. He's talking about being one in like the Hornets, Greg, or the Knicks.
Yeah.
I get it.
Look, no.
All right. Okay.
No.
So they had
because to me, wait.
Yo.
I'm trying to clarify what a number 1 is. To be a number 1, in my opinion, you got to be a leader and lead your team to wins. This is why I knocked Devin Booker so hard. Because I say, yo, you the number 1, but your team only wins 20 games every fucking year. Nah. At Tobias Harris, that Philly team.
So you saying Devin Booker's not a number 1?
I didn't say that. Listen what I said. I said that's why I knocked him so much when we did the debate a few weeks ago about who was better, Donovan Mitchell and Devin Booker. And I said Mitchell because I watched Mitchell as a rookie come to a team that had just lost their guy and Gordon Hayward to Boston. He came there as a rookie. You didn't know what to expect in Utah because everybody thought Utah was going to be bad. He helped lead that team to the playoffs in the West, like we talking about. Donovan Mitchell. And that's why I say I looked at how Donovan Mitchell did it as a rookie when I'm looking at Devin Booker, and he don't do that. Now, in the bubble so far, he been killing it. He been doing his thing. He's showing everybody why he's a number 1. And it's cool to be a number 1 on a bad team when you score 30 a game, but that's bullshit to me. That's how I feel. That's how I feel sometimes about Brandon Ingram, and that's my guy. But you in New Orleans, you ain't doing shit. You ain't winning. You scoring, but you ain't winning. So that's why.
All right, so let's go back to the original point.
Listen, Tobias
we got
Harris
away from
number 1.
We got away from the original point. The original point was that you saying that if you put this Philly team that's as it's constructed right now in the West, they would have a better record than Utah.
I mean, they got a better record than Utah right now.
That's what you think.
I'm looking at it.
They would have a better record in the West.
They got the same record as Utah right now.
Memphis, we can argue. I think Memphis is where we can argue. I think that's where it starts. Is Memphis?
They got a better record than Dallas
because they in the East.
But you just said if I put them in the West,
would they have a better record playing against the Western Conference teams? No, they wouldn't.
Yeah, I think so.
Fam.
But hold on. Matter of fact, Greg.
So if you put Utah, Utah in the East, where do you think Utah would be?
3rd or 4th?
Where they at? In the same
3rd or 4th in the East, right?
Like second or third.
So Utah going to the East, they would be 3rd or 4th.
Right now, if I'm looking
where's
at
Philly in the East?
If I'm looking at Utah in the East, I say they would both be
Philly 6th in the East.
Philly is 6th. But this is funny. They only a game out of 4th.
They're a game out of
They 6th. They 6th.
They a game out of 4th.
They 6th.
Hey,
They're
Greg,
in 6th place.
Do me a favor, Greg. I know you know your computer, right?
I'm looking right at it right now.
All right. Let me know if you can, while we talking, what was their record against the Western Conference this year?
Okay. Let me get that. Now,
I think they got a lot of losses
on the road.
I think they were pretty they did pretty good against Western Conference this year. I just look at it and say that I think Philly with a better coach would be a way better team.
You can say that about anybody.
No, we can't. We can say about the Knicks.
The Knicks with a better coach could have been a better team.
Not even the Wizards.
All right, now you're going a little far, yo. Come on.
I'm just letting you know. Come
on, yo. Come on, yo. Don't do that, yo. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Right. I don't like neither one of the teams. You're right.
Yeah, you're biased. You're biased right now. Like, you just hate them, yo. It's cool. You hate it. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, that's so bad that, I hate them.
You hate them. You just hate them motherfuckers. It's cool. I mean, I get it.
You're right.
So
That's terrible.
we going back with it about Philly, how
Mhm.
bad they are. You're saying they could keep them together. That's what Marcus is saying, keep them together. I'm saying they need to get rid of the coach and then have a stronger coach come in the door.
No, I agree with that too.
Because that'll
I
help.
agree if they keep them together, they got to get a new coach. They can't keep them together
Gotta
and
get
keep
the
the
coach.
same coach.
And,
They can't keep him.
and I
They can't
think
keep him.
I think with honesty, I know the Jimmy Butler leaving was a blow, but the
'Cause he was a leader.
The JJ Redick for me though was the big blow because they don't have, like you said, they don't have nobody that's
Right.
a definite three, threat.
Mhm.
They all can make it other than Ben Simmons, but they don't have a threat who you scared
Right.
of every night in and night out. So
I don't know. I know it is real weird. And I'm just looking at the shit on NBA reference right now. It does look like Philly has a losing record against the Western Conference this year.
okay,
Listen, now I'll agree. Philly is way more of a like that. Their talent level is over the Jazz. It's not even like it's not really comparable. Like
But
they're
that's
way more
definitely coaching,
talented
though.
than the
That's
Jazz.
coaching.
Than the Jazz. But what I'm saying is, I just don't think they're a better team.
And I
Like
get that. I definitely get that. I agree totally on that because their chemistry is some shit.
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah,
It's bad chemistry.
shit. But I look at this. They go just as far off of their bullshit talent and bad chemistry as Utah, if not farther. Because we all can say this. We all remember this from last year.
Utah's doing more with
They
less
blew a
though.
series. They blew the series against Toronto last year. They was up on them
Utah, yeah.
3. They were
did.
up on them 3-2 with home court.
Mhm.
They blew it, and then Kawhi hit the first and only game winner in Game 7 history to go to the next round, and they were the eventual champions. So Philly was right there. I think Philly's biggest mistake was letting Jimmy Butler go out the door. I'd have gave Jimmy whatever the hell he wanted and
I don't
said,
think he wanted to be there, yo.
I don't
Honestly,
think he wanted to be there either.
I just don't think he wanted to be there.
I don't think he wanted to be there either. And quiet as it's kept, you know how Pat Riley do that mafia move in Miami. I think he gearing up for one of them big stars to come down there next. So if
Who gonna go there though?
Greek,
Does he need it?
Greek,
Does he need it?
He definitely need it. They need one more guy.
In Miami?
yeah, they need one more guy.
They need one more guy.
You imagine like this is a what if scenario. Let's say Milwaukee wins or doesn't win the championship.
They're not gonna win the title.
Greek Freak is I don't think they're gonna win the title either because I got Toronto coming out the East again.
Let's just say they're not gonna win. Let's just go with the obvious. They're not gonna win.
Yeah. We already know where you want them to go. We already know who you
Nah,
want.
it doesn't got nothing to do with Boston. It's just them.
Okay. So we go there. Let's say they don't win it.
Mm-hmm.
He's not staying. Chris Middleton is just not it. He gonna go. So who you rather play with? Chris Middleton or Jimmy Butler with all those young pieces that they got down there in Miami?
Oh, easy. But
we get it. It's Miami.
But in order to get him, you probably gonna have to get rid of one of them.
No, you're not.
No, you don't.
He's gonna leave for free.
I know, but can they afford to pay him the max deal after what they paid Jimmy and still have a team?
Yeah.
It will make more sense to do a sign and trade.
It does, but if you make a sign and trade, all right, obviously Iguodala, Crowder, those two dudes won't be there. Those will be the guys on the outside. So I would trade Derrick Jones. I have no problem trading Derrick Jones and Duncan Robinson because I got Hero and none. Like that's what I would have to do.
I mean, if they pay him and don't do the sign and trade, then you look at a situation where you just got like a 3-4 year window where you gotta get something done.
But again, I'm gonna ask you this: what the what's the name? Big problem is he left a superstar to be the man. Would Jimmy Butler you think Jimmy wants to do that whole second guy again? That's why he keep leaving all these teams that have quote unquote number one guys.
Mm-hmm.
He left Minnesota because of number one guy, soft, but we know why he left.
He definitely called him a whore.
Philly because he got tired of
he called him
number
a whore.
one guy who wasn't soft. He just didn't want to be number one. He wanted to be the guy. You're gonna bring another person he's not gonna be the guy to Miami?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, because Jimmy feels like that's his team. Now, granted, as an owner, you're not gonna not get Greek Freak. But now what that does to Jimmy and them, because I think the chemistry down there, is so good. They need them another. I won't say mega star. I give them another good piece.
Mm-hmm.
They really on the cusp of going in and beat. They can beat any team in the East.
You talking about Miami?
Yeah, they can beat any team in the East.
I don't think they got it.
I think the
think they
East
can. I think they have the talent, but they don't have the mental capacity to do it yet. Like I think with them, they got a few, like another year or two before they can get there. And like this is the fresh start. This is like the apex of what they're gonna do. Like this right here is when they can say, all right, cool. I got my core young guys. I got my leader and Jimmy. All we need is one more part. Even if and I hate to say this because as a Lakers fan, you know, everybody wants this shit to happen anyway. But if Anthony Davis was to walk out and go down there for free,
different. See,
that's a perfect move for them.
Anthony Davis still would be number one.
Right. That's the point though.
He'd be the number one talent. He still
number one talent. Number one talent.
That's gonna give him 9 points a game.
He doesn't have to be the leader. You get what I'm saying?
Oh, bitch.
And he doesn't have to play center.
Yeah, because Bam is there, which he doesn't want to do anyway. And that bitch assness that he did the other day just showed why really a number two.
TJ Warren, boy. And TJ Warren is so small.
Hurt my feelings looking at that shit the other day. I truly did.
He was hurt, wasn't he? He was angry.
I was very upset, but at the same time, I get it. You need to play like shit to get yourself back. You got to play like shit to get yourself back.
Nah, fam.
I wish TJ Warren played like shit because TJ Warren is playing like a fucking animal.
Yeah, that little motherfucker scares me.
He's playing like an animal.
TJ Warren is playing piss because he got traded to Indiana for some money.
And then my other boy is playing like an animal. You know I'm gonna keep mentioning him until the world knows. Michael Porter fucking Jr.
The future. Yeah. As long as he stays healthy, he's the future.
Animal, yo.
He's the future in the bubble.
And then now Jamal Murray is healthy too.
Hey, he was sucking for air though. He was out of gas like shit though the other night in that double.
Out of shape.
That was double overtime.
Yeah, hey, he out of shape though. He big time out of shape. But look, Donovan Mitchell, we talking about Donovan Mitchell, right? If we give all that credit to Booker for what he do, Mitchell in that game late, oh my God. Yeah. I sitting there like, damn, yo, this motherfucker come out the curl screen, bang, hit a three. Then he get the pull up on him. I thought they won the game until Glizzy Gobert got dream shake like 4 times out of his boots by Jokic.
Yo, no, but that's why I'm gonna say something about that too. That
hold on, stop calling nigga Glizzy.
I know Mark wants to say something. Say it again, yo.
Well, can we stop calling nigga Glizzy Gobert, yo? I don't like it.
Glizzy Gobert, yo. Fuck him.
That's nasty.
COVID Gobert. That's COVID Gobert.
There we go.
That's COVID Gobert.
He the reason that the shit is here anyway.
But I'm gonna tell you this, Greg. I know the ref's not gonna like when I say this because I took my stopwatch. And Joker did not make it to the basket in 3 seconds.
No, he didn't. He didn't. But it's the NBA. 3 seconds in the NBA is 5 seconds. Come on, man.
Yo, he grabs it.
Plus text on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, my man caught the ball. He had his back to the basket for 4 seconds. So that's the Charles Barkley rule almost. Then when he got in the lane, yo was like, He did 8 his. He did 8 on him and shit. I was like, God damn, like he didn't paint that long and he got away with that shit.
Let's put 0.3 seconds on the clock.
He had to shuffle on y'all niggas in the paint.
Yeah. And it's funny because the Lakers play the Nuggets tonight.
That should be fun.
Now, let me ask y'all this real quick while we stand on the bubble before we go to the teams that have been officially eliminated from the bubble. But I'm looking at the seeding is really what's going on for the next 3 games. So the Nuggets and the Clippers are battling for 2 and 3. It doesn't matter about home court, but it also matter about who.
It can only change in the West, right? The East lined up, ain't it?
Yes. No, the East is not lined up. You still got 4, 5, and 6 is still yet to be determined.
It's a game behind each other.
Yeah, because they all a game behind each other. If Philly wins out, they can jump to the 4th seed. And I know Philly don't want to play. Philly definitely does not want to play Boston in the first round.
Not without Ben Simmons.
No Ben Simmons.
Or Embiid.
So Philly might be trying their hardest to get either Miami or the Pacers in the first round. But
I don't know if they should want to play any of those teams.
They might not want to play none of them.
Don't think fucking matter.
I don't think they want to play none of them. But I know it's an easier road in their mind if they got to play the Pacers side instead of playing against a team like Miami in the first round and then potentially on the side where the Bucks would be at. But I'm looking at it for the Nuggets perspective. Do the Nuggets want to fight and get that 2 seed so they can play Dallas in the first round? Or do they stay with the 3 and potentially get a matchup against the Rockets in the first round?
Don't give me the Rockets.
I don't want the Rockets in the first round.
I don't want neither.
Yeah, but don't give me the Rockets.
I don't want the Rockets in the first round if I'm anybody because they got 2 superstars. The Mavs have a superstar and a half because Porzingis ain't there yet in my mind.
But man, he busted. Like, I mean, what do we consider? Because the dude is giving you 25 and like damn near 15 a game now. With
you got 2.
What's name?
You got 2 of the last 3 MVPs on one team in Houston.
We know about them guys.
You got the future in Luka, and then Porzingis, who's doing just his numbers. But Porzingis, as much as we love him, I love Porzingis' game. He ain't taking over no games like a Westbrook or a Harden can.
No, he's not. He's not.
So that's why I'm like, I don't want to play Houston in the first round.
Who's gonna guard Luka?
Yeah, that's the next topic. That's the next topic.
39, 19, and 16.
That's the next topic we get ready to go with.
Say what you want. Say what you want for the Unicorn. The Rockets is a small team. Who gonna guard the Unicorn?
The Unicorn.
Hold on.
Watch this. The Unicorn is going to guard himself because what does the Unicorn like to do?
Shoot threes.
Right.
That's how you win games because the new NBA with these guys, they don't use common sense. Oh, this dude PJ Tucker is on me and he's 6'7" and I'm 7'3", but I'm gonna decide to face him up at the 3-point line because I got a quick first step. That's dumb. Sit your big ass in the box.
I guarantee you, Luka puts him in position to win that battle every time. Watch.
They run nothing but pick and roll all day with Luka and let Luka make the decision.
I'm telling you.
But you know what? We can't keep saying that about Houston because the last big teams that Houston been playing,
they lost.
Running about the gym.
They don't won. They beat the Lakers. They beat the Bucks.
They beat all the big teams.
They beating all the big teams because the big teams fall in love with shooting threes. Bitch ass Anthony Davis, dumb ass Brooke Lopez. That's what they do. Rockets will shoot 73s on you. They don't care. If I make 35 of them,
they definitely will.
We good.
I ain't gonna let that motherfucker fly.
I'm gonna let it fly all over the place. You know, so it's interesting.
I'm not saying that I want. Oh, I'm not saying that Dallas is gonna beat Houston, but this is looking real like Golden State, Dallas to me right now.
Okay.
It's looking like, you know how like you get to the playoffs, some dudes that you waiting for to turn into that. This is setting up for a situation where we could watch Luka turn into that.
Marcus, you turn your camera so it can be black?
Yeah.
Oh, all right, cool.
I don't want to be eating chicken and shit.
I understand.
Like it looks that way. Like it's a weird season. Everything is a little different. Like
so right now, if the first round matchup, it would be the Clippers versus Luka.
They're gonna lose.
That's what I'm talking about. Like matchup. Like if it's me, Luka.
They got perimeter. They got perimeter guarders though. Like they got people that can guard him on the perimeter.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that. Nobody can guard him.
Fam, you put PG and Kawhi Leonard out there, he's still gonna get his numbers. He's still gonna get his numbers, but he's not gonna wreak havoc on their defense. He's gonna get his numbers.
He didn't do it against the Clippers, did he?
The bubble, he's never had a bad game in the bubble yet.
Man,
remember, he got hurt the game against the Clippers, and he was killing them, and he got hurt.
Yeah, he's gonna do him regardless. I'm talking about
him. There's no stopping that.
I'm talking about a situation like say the Lakers got to play Portland, right?
They're gonna.
That's the issue. Gonna be they don't have guards to guard either one of the guards on Portland. So that's going to be their matchup issue. I'm saying that I don't think the Clippers have a matchup issue with Dallas.
Well, I mean,
Not saying Dallas going to beat them.
Portland is the. I told Greg this, and I won't stop saying it. Portland's the most scariest team that could possibly get in the playoffs.
No, they're not.
I mean, that's what everybody keeps saying, but them niggas just went to war with a fucking Philly team that didn't have Ben Simmons or Embiid.
Yeah, but I don't believe. You know why I don't believe in Portland, yo? I'm gonna tell you why I don't believe in Portland. Because I don't think Terry Stotts will understand that you got 3 bigs that can actually go to work a little bit too. Everything is shoot with the guards all night long. Live and die by whatever Dame give you.
Mm-hmm.
Dame the other day, it was no excuse to me that you didn't get the ball over to CJ McCollum. The game that they lost when he missed the 2 free throws that they shot.
It was an excuse because it was Dame time.
And that's dumb.
It was Dame time.
That's dumb.
Dame time.
Because my thing is you going back and forth against the Clippers. Now, mind you, this is how embarrassing this shit is. You going back and forth. They put Paul George on the bench for the last 6 minutes of the game. Don't play him. They running with Magruder, dude they work over at 7-Eleven, and
he work at Wawa's, bitch.
Yeah, and then another dude that work at the gas station over on Park Heights, right?
And Kawhi didn't play.
So they out here running with these dudes. They get up by 1.
Disrespectful.
They out here, they up by 1. They ain't go to free throw line, miss both. Comes down, and instead of trying to get the ball back on the defensive side of the ball, Magruder scores, goes up by 3. He comes down and takes a 35-foot sidestep 3. Misses.
That's a shot, though.
I get it. That's dumb, though. Because he's not going to get far doing that shit over and over and over again. Even last year, he hit the shot against the Thunder. Remember, they're up 3-1. So if they lose that game, it don't hurt them. Know why? Because they still had home court and they still had 2 more games to go ahead and say we can get you out the door. Oh, and by the way, they was tied up. So there's no pressure on you. It was a tie ball game when he hit that jumper to win that series. So if he misses, all he do is go where? To overtime. Still with a chance to win. I look at him when he got games on the line like that. In the playoffs, what I'm talking about, not the regular season. He hit it once against Houston in the playoffs. But again, they playing with house money. You not with your pressure against you. I watched in game 7 last year against Denver. Who was the one that won the games in game 7? CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum was the one that was hitting the game winning shot to take them to the Western Conference Finals. You got to start using common sense. You got some bigs, Nurkic, Whiteside, and Collins that can do some work. If you ain't going to use them, then what's the point? Nurkic almost had a triple-double in that game, and what did he do? He had 8 touches. 8. You go away from him, what you think gonna happen?
I mean, that money talk, man.
I guess.
His name ain't Dame Dollar for no reason, and they not gonna say nothing about Dame jacking up whatever he want to jack up. Now you're right. You're not going to win off of that, but it only take one shot for you to feel as though you can win, and that's what happens. They ain't give you one good one, and they live with it.
I think
you can't beef about. Yo, can y'all hear me? I'm back. You can't beef about Dame taking them type of shots, yo. When that's what get him there. Harden do it. Russ, like when you do it, and that's what gets you to the dance. You can't beef with me when it don't work. Like it's just what it is. Like he does it. Do he take bad decisions? Like the shot he hit against Paul George. It was a bad shot. He hit it. Can't say shit about it.
Yeah.
Except Dame time.
So Greg, who's the most scariest team in the bubble, Greg?
To me, the Rockets. Want to know why? I'll tell you why. James Harden has lost 4 of the last 5 years to the eventual NBA champion or finals team, right? He's lost to Golden State 4 times out of the last 5 years, and the other time was to the Spurs, right? And my thing is he's got a fresh start with the restart. And they playing to their style, yo. You got rid of all of the goddamn bigs. They just say, yo, we're gonna just shoot. We're just gonna score. We're not worrying about having a 90 to 85 game. We're gonna beat you 130 to 125.
You think that's gonna work in the playoffs?
No, but that's still dangerous. It's still dangerous. I personally think the Lakers are going. You know me. I think the Lakers are going to win no matter what. And I think the threat is the Clippers because they have 2 perimeter defenders. But you can't teach height and you can't teach skill at height. You just got to figure out if he got that heart. And I'm talking about Anthony Davis. So I think the Lakers are still the team, but the biggest threat to me is the Rockets because you got 2 MVPs. That shit is scary. And it all depends. Like the Clippers don't want to play the Rockets because it's a bad matchup because you basically going Westbrook and Harden against Kawhi and Paul George.
And that's because I think it's a bad matchup because they play small ball.
Yeah, they make them go small.
They play.
Aaron Gordon back. Austin Rivers looking good. He just dropped 40 points in the bubble. So and Covington's not bad. So if you go small and keep with that exact lineup, like I just said, the Clippers ain't gonna go with Zubac on the court.
No, they play small. They play 2.
They're small ball.
Houston strips.
Yeah. So to be Hurl, PG, Kawhi, Lou Williams, and Pat. And the weak link on the real is Pat Beverly because is he gonna consistently knock down a wide open 3? No.
Fuck no.
So that's who I'd live with.
I can see it.
That's it for that team. That's for them. But like you said, it's a matchup thing. I think Portland is a bad matchup for the Lakers.
Yeah. And that's because they have the bigs. Plus
not only the bigs, it's because they don't have nobody to stop Dame and CJ.
They don't have no guard, Joe. Who the fuck is
no
guard for Lakers?
That's the problem.
KCP, baby. KCP.
Who?
Yo,
how Snoop say that shit? He said, "Who?"
I'm fucking New Day. Who?
Yo,
mute yourself.
Listen. KCP, baby, number 1.
Nah.
With a bullet. Quinn Cook.
They're gonna drop 45 on them niggas a piece.
They can drop as many as they want as long as we get the win. I don't give a damn.
We coming down court like, yo, which one you want? Him? You going 3 or you going? We'll go do it, and they're gonna do it.
But I don't think Portland gonna get in. I think Portland not gonna get in. I think the Suns gonna steal it.
You think the Suns gonna beat them twice?
They hot. They gonna get the 8th spot and win it.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Suns, baby.
Listen, yo, I say this shit all the time. Anytime we have this conversation, on or off the YouTube, I will never put my money in a young team until they show me they can do it.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I give you that.
I can't do it. Phoenix, I get it. You hot. All that shit cool.
And they hot too.
That. Until you do it, I'm not giving you credit for the shit. You got to do it.
Yeah. Look, they scorching hot though out there in Phoenix right now. They love the bubble. I think they want the bubble to continue.
They got all of the bubble type players. Like their whole team
is the bubble.
It's bubble type niggas that's gonna go to the Drew League and give you 85.
Yep.
Yo, what happened?
Team.
Bugs. Quick question. What happened to Kimbo Slice last night?
That nigga got knee issues. I don't know what's up with him. He wilding, yo. He look. You know what he's doing right now. He's kind of looking like AD. Like, yo, you're supposed to be giving me 25, 30 a game, and
I'm sorry. He was Kimbo Walker last night. He was Kimbo Slice night before last. Boy, he looked like.
But that's the issue I got on the East with Boston. Is Kimbo Walker 100%? No, and
no,
that hurt them.
He still got knee issues. He's not. Yeah, but even when he's not, listen. I hate that they're using that for an excuse. The one thing that I know about my team, whether Kemba's hurt or not, they inconsistent as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, they'll do what they did against Orlando yesterday, which is damn near blow a game against a team that should be nowhere near them on the court. Mm-hmm. Then they damn near blow a game against who the fuck was they playing? The Bucks when they was up, I think 20 at some point in the game, and they damn near blow that game.
No, 31.
Yeah.
But then they go blow out Toronto from end to end. Like, they inconsistent as shit. Like, it just don't make sense. Like, I don't get it.
They are a young basketball team, though.
But you got Gordon Hayward and Kemba Walker there. You can't call them a young basketball team.
Gordon ain't giving you the same Gordon that he was in Utah. I see if he was out there giving you 25, 5, and 5 like it was in Utah.
Just gave them damn near 25 points in the first half like 2 nights ago.
Yeah, but that was because he wanted to. They don't do it on a consistent basis no more. Like
Joe
that's the
Button
thing.
said, yo, make sure somebody on the other team got on the equality or Black Lives Matter message on the back of their jersey, and he gonna go at it.
I think this, Greg. The thing with Haywood in Boston, he knows he doesn't have to put up 25, 30 every night.
Okay.
Because you got three of them who can easily put up 25 and 30. At any, well, no. What's the other four? Kimbo Slice?
You got Brown, Walker, Haywood, and Tatum.
And get Haywood.
And then you might even sometimes don't sleep on my guy Marcus Smart. I like Marcus Smart. That's the best one on the team for me because I like the grit and grind.
He's energy and defense, but he's not a consistent.
I think
he give you them 5 steals and them 2 blocks.
Right.
And you turn that shit turns into points for them. So I like
but what I mean by the 3, I'm talking about who can, if you tell them, yo, I need you to give me 30 right now, it's 3 of them. Kimber Slice with that knee not giving you 30 whenever you need him to.
Well, neither is Haywood, so it's really only 2.
Shit.
Yeah, Brown is more consistent than Tatum.
Brown's the best player on that team right now.
Yeah, Tatum fall in love with the 3 too much and just goes away from his natural gifted ability. Like he
and then y'all don't use that. Y'all don't use to do Williams enough.
He's young.
I don't like Canty.
Enes Kanter. We call him Canty.
That too. He's a bum.
I don't call my man Canty.
He's Canty.
So
he's a bum.
I know Marcus. He got the Celtics coming out the East. I got Toronto coming out the East. I got Toronto versus LA.
I don't got Toronto coming out the East, yo. I don't got honestly. Who they play in the second round?
The Boston versus Toronto is the second round.
I don't got Toronto coming out the East. You know why? Because Toronto's back to where they are before they had Kawhi Leonard.
And before they had Kawhi Leonard, there was only one person that was beating him, and he's in the West.
He gone.
They wasn't getting there. Again, you got to show me you can do it.
They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals 3 years in a row to LeBron.
Yeah.
By itself.
LeBron beat a whole franchise so bad that they had to call Kawhi Leonard and say, help me get 1 ring. And now they know how to win. And they got a core team. They got bigs. They got balance. They got the forwards. They can score and they can defend. And then they got my guy, Kyle Lowry, Hall of Famer. Hall of Fame Kyle Lowry. You know what I'm saying? They tough.
When Kyle Lowry ass get cooked in the playoffs, I'm coming right back to you and talk about your Hall of Fame.
Every year and they still winning. Right. That one team that they lost to for 4 straight years was LeBron James.
They didn't lose to a team.
They lost to
a man.
They lost to the guy. They lost to LeBron James.
They lost to LeBron.
LeBron beat. This how you know when you bad, right? This how you know when you bad.
No, bitch, you only want Toronto to come out of the East because you think that's the easiest matchup. I know.
No, I don't. They the toughest matchup.
That's a sweep.
They the toughest matchup.
That is a sweep.
Oh, you think the Lakers gonna sweep the Raptors?
Hell no.
Sweep the Raptors.
Crazy. That's going 6 games.
You high.
Dude.
In a bubble? No, it's not.
You just talk about guard play. I just told you Hall of Fame Kyle Lowry and Van Vliet.
See? That's a sweep, yo. That's a sweep.
Yo, that ain't no sweep, yo.
That is a sweep, yo.
My man Siakam is gonna be like, come out here, AD, guard me.
And then he gonna have to guard AD. So then what?
It's gonna be okay because who on the guards on the Lakers can score?
Yo, listen.
Y'all just laughed at KCP.
The Lakers versus the Raptors is the perfect medicine for AD's career because he's going to win Finals MVP. That nigga's gonna average like 32 points a game in a sweep. And he's gonna win Finals MVP.
Oh, the perfect person right now for the Lakers to play if they really want to win the championship, and the team coming out the East is the Miami Heat. I'm gonna tell you why. Because they don't got.
We're not mentioning them.
I know that, but he said if it's coming out the East, who will be the easiest matchup for the Lakers?
I didn't say easy. I didn't say the easiest. I said that will be the perfect medicine for AD.
I ain't talking about fuck AD right now.
Yeah, the easiest is Brooklyn, but we're not talking about that.
No, yeah, Brooklyn ain't going nowhere. The coronavirus team ain't going nowhere and shit. Them niggas they know what the deal is.
So you really think Raptors gonna beat the Bucks?
Yes, they did it last year, didn't they?
With Kawhi Leonard.
They're gonna do it this year with OG Aguanobi as the small.
No.
They beat him as a team, not as a Kawhi. What did Kawhi? Kawhi gave you the same shit he always give you, and they put up the wall. They got the best defense.
Okay. On Yahoo and YouTube and Facebook and all this other shit that we're on right now, we're gonna do it like they do it on Undisputed. $100 right now.
Damn,
$100.
$100.
$100.
I thought we was gonna do liquor. I thought we was gonna do a bottle or something.
$100 cash money.
Let's do a bottle. Let's do a bottle.
Skip.
Damn.
Come on.
Vulcan said he want 100 cases of juice.
Let's do a fifth. Your choice of fifth. Keep it under 60. Keep it under 60. Fifth alcohol.
That's fine. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just so you know, when you lose, I'm gonna buy a bottle of Moet and I'm gonna spray it on you. Just to show you that I ain't give a fuck. Just to prove a point. And you had to stand there and I'm gonna spray it.
Damn,
yo. He's back in the stallion. He going back in the stallion.
Damn, bro. We got at least put it in a cup for one drink.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man. After I spray it, you know it's gonna stop, and then you can have the bottle. You can make yourself mimosas for the rest of the day.
That's fucked up. Yo, the Raptors are gonna win the damn. So all right. So the bet is this: is that the Raptors have to make the finals?
Yes.
All right. So the bet is the Raptors have to make the finals. Okay.
So who you got making the finals, Mark?
He got Boston.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't trust any of them. Honestly, my team included. I say this shit all the time. You have to prove to me that you can do it. None of them have done it with their current roster. I got questions about all of them.
And that's
I don't know.
The most consistent one.
Heart, y'all know where I'm at. Boston is the heart. That's where I'm at. But they're inconsistent.
The most consistent one is the Raptors. It's the Raptors.
All right. Well, remember that when you get sprayed with champagne.
The Raptors are the only team that's in the playoffs that's done it. Yeah, they don't got Kawhi, but they still got the same team.
Right. Except for the number one player in the league.
He ain't the number one.
At the time when they had him, they was
he wasn't number one then.
All right. If you say so, I'm just going over what they said. I don't know. That's what they said.
He wasn't the number one player in the league last year.
Who was the number one player in the league?
The man that was in Golden State that popped his Achilles.
Well, he popped his Achilles, so he couldn't be the number one player if he wasn't playing.
He was the number one player until he popped his Achilles.
Until what?
He popped his Achilles.
Oh, okay.
Until what?
What he did, Eddie? What he did? He popped what?
I ain't stutter. He was the number one player until he popped his Achilles. He popped his Achilles in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Remember?
Eddie popped his Achilles. You talking about the second time?
He didn't pop it the first time. The first time he just sprained it.
It was popped.
His knee. Okay.
This was fucked up.
It was fucked up in Game 5. Let's not forget in Game 5 in Toronto, down 3-1, the Slim Reaper had them in the lead until he popped that motherfucking shit again.
He did.
Hey, he the best. That's the best in the league.
Healthy.
Watch your mouth.
LeBron ain't the best, yo.
Okay.
He might be the best of the era, but he ain't the best right now in the game.
Okay.
The best right now in the game.
Why? Because the other guys score better?
No. Right now, the best guy in the game because he's healthy is sitting in Milwaukee, Greek Freak. But
we're not gonna go there. We just talked about this.
I know. That's a topic for Wednesday night when we do a Wednesday night. Or Thursday night. We do that Thursday. Okay. But let's switch gears. Let's switch gears real quick. Last topic of the day, and that's boxing. So in boxing, I know Eddie, you don't watch it a lot. I gotta get the boxing in, yo.
What happened to your man? You ain't never called him back?
Raf ass bluffing. I told him I told him to come on. Yo, act like he don't know it. He see the message. He bluffing. It's all good. We gonna make it work because this is what we do. So let's go back into it.
Put him up.
We got boxing. We got a lot of matchups that's getting ready to happen after the COVID has went down. First and foremost, I got to talk about this guy because I think he's the number one pound for pound in the game. Vasily Lomachenko. I think he's the best pound for pound fighter in the game at light heavyweight at 135.
I love Loma.
He's the best pound for pound in the game.
I don't think so. I know boxing, but no, I don't think so.
I can't give him. You know why I can't give him that, yo? Because I don't know what it is. The black people, we just don't like Hispanics being at the top. I don't know what it is. And I was guilty of the shit for a while because I had Loma at the top, and I thought about it like, yo, Canelo's way far beyond anything anybody's done in boxing right now. Like not even close. Like the shit is like, it's like night and day. It's like when a nigga barely wins around, or a nigga wins around in a wide margin, and then you looking for reasons to give it to the other guy. We have to look for reasons to give it to other people other than Canelo. Like literally, you gotta look for it.
Let me ask you this question: who won that first fight between Canelo and Triple G?
Triple G.
So when I go pound for pound, right? I look at it all. I know that the boxing judges and the higher ups in boxing, they can make a fighter, they can save a fighter. They've done it for years. Right. I watched how Julio Cesar Chavez lost to Pernell Whitaker. They called it a draw.
Got his ass beat.
Yeah, all that shit a draw. This was from years ago. So when I'm looking at Canelo, Canelo could potentially, it might be pound for pound the best, because I've watched him go from all the way up from junior welterweight to welterweight to middleweight to even beating a light heavyweight champion. And he can come up and down. He can do it all, right? I give him that. But I watched him lose a fight.
So your knock on Canelo is that he lost to Triple G the first fight.
Yeah, he lost. Lomo has not lost. In my opinion.
He lost to Salido.
That was a bullshit. That's the same shit I'm talking about. That was more bullshit though, Marcus, and you know this. It's bullshit.
I know he lost the fight. Now, do I think he lost the fight? No. I don't. But it was close. It was close enough where he lost the fight.
Okay. Highway robbery to me.
All right. Even if we can let's take both of those losses out. Throw away the Triple G first loss. Throw away the Salido loss. Who got a better resume?
Lomo.
I don't think so.
You know why?
I don't think so.
I can go back here. You said better resume if you throw out that Triple G loss. Right. Who got dog walked by my man Floyd?
Canelo.
All right.
Everybody is dog walked.
Wait. What's the rest of his resume though?
He beat everybody.
Not just everybody. Like he beat talent. Like
I agree.
Loma, I love Loma's resume, but Walters and Rigondeaux,
he made him quit.
Yeah, but that's all on the top tier of his resume. Everybody else on Loma's resume is equivalent to what Canelo has faced his entire career, almost.
Okay, I mean it's a good back and forth to see who it is. You know, like I can't go wrong with either one. I definitely can't go wrong for either one. But
and I feel dirty that I'm sitting here defending Canelo versus Loma because I love Lomachenko. I really do. The Matrix is like my favorite boxer in boxing right now. Like he's that guy for me. I feel dirty that I'm arguing this, but I'm just tired of seeing the Canelo shit get thrown out the window. Like I saw him 5th on one list recently, like 5th.
That's ridiculous. But you also gotta go to the right list to know where you're going at. Like I hate ESPN's list because they're so tied into Top Rank. It's ridiculous. Like, how can Bud Crawford be ahead of Canelo?
Because he signed the Top Rank.
Exactly.
That's it.
And I don't even think that he's the number one welterweight.
No,
that's Earl Spence Jr. But yet you have Terrence Crawford over him because he's on Top Rank. Nah, I don't even look at ESPN's pound for pound list because I know it's a bunch of bullshit. But when I look at my pound for pound, my 5 in Lomo, I had number 1. Canelo, I had number 2. Number 3, I had Spence. And number 4, that's where I had Crawford. And then at number 5, and I might be a little biased in this one and shit, but number 5.
Don't you do it. Don't you say it.
I didn't say no Tank. Chill.
Oh, okay.
Tyson Fury.
I
had him 5th. And the reason why I had him 5th is because
he just did
the heavyweight champion. He beat him.
Yeah, he never lost either.
And he hasn't lost. So you gotta go with Fury. But that's my personal 5 that I have. Tank is nowhere near in the top 10 to me in overall. Like nowhere near in the top 10.
I think after 1 and 2, you can just kind of depends on your preference. You can throw it up. Because I could see having Bud in front of Earl Spence. And and pound for pound list. But that would be solely based off what he did at 140.
Right, by unifying the division.
Yeah, like he walked through the division at 140.
But now
like,
we're going back into our duck session. So let's start. Matter of fact, we'll stay with the welterweights and how welterweights duck. So Spence, for years, we all looked at Spence as the next one, the next great guy coming up. We watched how Keith Thurman at the time was basically Showtime Thurman, knocking everybody down, knocking everybody out.
No, that was until they made him a headliner.
Yep.
He didn't knock anybody out after that.
When they made him a headliner against Garcia and against Sean Porter.
Sometimes Thurman.
Yeah, start going up against more better competition. He wasn't knocking them out, but he was getting those wins until he ran into a Hall of Famer. Ran into Manny Pacquiao.
Put them calls on him.
But now we're looking at how much they ducked Earl Spence Jr. and now the shoe is on the other foot. Do you think is a way that you can fix the quote unquote ducking in boxing?
Yep, very simple.
Let me hear it.
One title.
Okay.
That's it. One title. You don't need the commissions. One belt. One man. You got to go through the man to be the man. That's it.
One band, one sound.
That's it. That's the easiest way to fix it. I don't need all these commissioning fees. I don't need all the bullshit. I don't need all these other extra, because you got to think about it, all the extra belts is created for bullshit. They create a franchise title because a guy doesn't want to do a thing, but we still want to be the champion and treat him as such, or we want to give the belt to somebody that's going to pay us that we can make money off of. All right, let's create another belt. Get rid of all the fucking belts. One belt. Do what the UFC does. Yo, in order to be the champ, you got to beat the guy at the top.
I agree with that. But I don't understand, and I've never understood why we have 4 belts in boxing.
Money.
I never understood it. Like, so if you the IBF champion and then IBF has a fighter that they feel as though is their number one guy, how can we say that when we all know as boxing fans, like, he ain't shit compared to these 4 guys that's number 1, 2, and 3 with the champ in the WBC belt?
Because there's nobody at the top that says this is bullshit, shut up. They don't have a boxing commission.
They don't have a Dana White.
They don't have somebody over all of these fucking sanctioning bodies that make them just abide to rules. They do whatever the fuck they want. So, hey, that's why if you ever notice, and we talk about this shit all the time, it's certain commissions and certain sanctioning bodies where you just won't see guys from other promotions even on their rank list. I think one of the lists didn't even have Earl Spence. Whatever one Bob Arum controls doesn't even have Earl Spence on the top 10. Like, when you see shit like that, it's like, all right, yo, this is stupid. Like, some shit is just common sense, and a lot of this shit is politics and money, which it should be gone now because fucking channels don't mean anything. Like, the networks, they don't mean shit right now. And to be quite honest, the belts don't mean shit to a lot of the fighters. So, with that being the case, it should be a lot easier to make fights. Like, yo, none of that shit matters. So they still trying to use the excuse where the excuse don't exist. Like, oh, well, he's with this person, I'm with this person, but they create fights all the time. Like, and the networks don't matter. Y'all fight on ESPN Plus and fucking DAZN and Facebook and all types of other shit. Like, fam, make the fights.
Yeah, I think they have to find a way to just make the fights. And this is when you miss Don King. Dead serious. When Don King set up the middleweight championship and Bernard Hopkins won, and they set up that tournament, that was one of the best things I thought boxing could do. You put all 3 champions at the time, IBF, WBA, WBC, you match them all up, and then the number 1 fighter out of all of them, compared, ranking them off where they had them. And you say, yo, it's a final 4, let's fight. Set it up, had some good matchups. Hopkins wound up fighting against Tito, beat the shit out of Tito, unified champion. That's how you should do it. And I think you can get it done right now, especially in the light heavyweight division. And I'm sorry, the light welterweight division, the lightweights, 135.
Oh, you can get it done. You can get it done in any weight class.
But you really can get it done. When I say you can get it done, it's about money, right? 135 right now. You can imagine a Loma versus Lopez, which should happen. It was in the works to happen, but now I think it's going to be canceled because Lopez crew is ducking.
Correct.
If you get those two to fight, and then have a Haney versus Tank, You have it. It's already set in stone. The winners, the two winners, now meet each other for the championship. And yeah, Garcia is the fifth guy, but he don't have a belt. So he gotta be on the outside waiting. He gotta wait his fucking turn.
But should the belts matter when some of these niggas is just being given belts just because of who runs them? Like they fight interim fights.
None of these dudes have been given belts. Because let's not mistake this. Lopez just fought Comey, right?
Right.
And destroyed him, right?
Where was Comey ranked?
Comey was the champ.
How'd he get the belt?
Don't matter. He had the belt.
It does matter.
You gotta finish it out based off of where
that's exactly the beef that we have right now. It does matter how you get the belt. If the champ vacates the belt, and then your promoter controls the belt, but there's an interest in having you win versus somebody that shouldn't be in with you for that title, that's the issue right there. Because when somebody like a Loma or somebody that's top tier drops a belt, it should not be in the hands of the promoters to who are the mandatories. Number one and number two should have been fighting for that interim belt. Period. That's it. End of story. It shouldn't have been Comey versus whomever. You don't even know who he fought to get the belt.
I agree. That's why I said you can't worry about that now because you already have that fix. The fix is you got a better champion, a person that we've seen literally win the belt. Lopez knocked him out. So if Lopez knocked him out and he got the claim of the belt, now let's set up this shit to get it over with. Let's go ahead and let's make one champion. I already had
that part I agree with.
I already had a beef with this WBC super champ. So even if Loma loses, he's still going to be recognized as the WBC champ.
Franchise champ. The shit that they made up. Yeah.
That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to do this. Just like this. Let's go over here and look at Canelo. Canelo is basically washed out the middleweight division. Correct? So he's washed out the division. So what? He's not going to fight Billy Joe Saunders. Not going to fight him.
Ain't fought Charlo, he ain't fight Andre.
And those are the young guys that's coming. The Charlo boys. One is a junior super middleweight. The other one is a middleweight, right?
Right.
When we gonna get that done?
When are they not now because fights? Canelo is at 168.
Right. So is that Canelo ducking? I don't think so. I think that's Canelo just naturally getting bigger. What's up? Not right now.
I don't know if it's him naturally getting bigger because I don't think he's just naturally getting bigger.
I think he's getting lazier. He doesn't want to go condition to go back to 160.
Well, no, I mean he can't eat the tainted beef no more. But you know, I'm just saying. You know, steroid steaks and all. I'm fucking around. But no, like it's just certain situations, yo.
Hold up, stop though. Before we go there, you talk about steroid steaks. That should knock him down the list so pound for pound it.
I mean, yeah, it could. I mean, if they prove it. Cool. I mean, I get it.
They from Mexico.
I mean, you ever had steaks in Mexico? I don't know, yo. It could. If he cheating,
coronavirus steaks.
If he cheating, then he should be at the top. I get it. I'm cool with that. But at the same time, we in like a weird space because a lot of these fighters claim that people ducking them that don't deserve the fights. Like, yo, so you want to fight two not ranked opponents and then tell me I'm ducking you because I don't want to fight you. Like, my nigga, you ain't beat nobody. You're not here. Like, Floyd didn't walk in and just get a fight with Oscar De La Hoya. Like, Bernard Hopkins didn't just walk in and get a fight with Roy Jones Jr. These kids have now decided they just gonna skip all of the fighting part and just talk their way in the titles. Like, they come out of the amateurs and win 12 fights in 2 years against nobodies, and then start screaming pound for pound names. Oh, they're scared to fight me. No, they don't know you. Like, you're not ranked outside of your fucking promoter putting you somewhere in the rankings. Like, you ain't beat nobody in the top 10, but you rank number 3. How? How is that possible?
I don't know. I truly don't know.
And you can see that shit through every weight class. It's a bunch of dudes where they telling you, because they keep telling you, oh, he's the next thing. Like Ryan Davis, Ryan Garcia, he's the next thing.
Who has he fought? And you know what's funny?
He just fought on Facebook.
Right. And you know what's funny? On that Ryan Garcia statement, right? It's no bullshit. I watched him knock the dude out. And everybody like, oh, it was a vicious left hand. That's that star power. I'm like, yo, he just knocked out a journeyman fighter that was old and long in the tooth. But because he did that, right, against him, and I'm not defending Tank. I want everybody to be clear. I'm not defending Tank. I watched Tank go out there and really like beat the shit out of Gamboa for 12 rounds. But because he didn't get him out of there quick and have him sleep on the canvas, everybody said, oh, he was being lazy and bullshit. Yeah, he was being lazy and bullshit. He needed some rounds too, though. You know what I'm saying? He needed some fucking rounds underneath his belt because he's inactive. So
at least
you gotta
Gamboa
fight.
was a live body.
And
like,
that's my point. But if you don't respect, if you can't respect that, Gamboa at the time had one loss, correct?
Just
one
Bud.
or two losses. Gamboa is a multi-weight division champion that was still fighting. Yeah, he's not the same Gamboa that we remember from when he was knocking people out, but he's a sound boxer. You know what I'm saying? And he got heart and he gonna fight. But we discredit Tank because we didn't watch him knock out a journeyman dude. Because Gamboa is not a journeyman dude.
But they discredit that win because the narrative from all of the people that want to fight Tank is that Gamboa was a nobody. He was nothing. He was washed. He was over the hill. You should have washed him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I hate the new fighter versus the old fighter. You know what the old fighter would have done? The guys in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you know what they would have did after that fight by Tank? They would have went and signed Gamboa to a fight and beat the shit out of him. And then said, hey, look, I just washed the guy that you couldn't get out in 12 rounds. But now they're going to go to Twitter and they're going to go to Instagram and do a whole bunch of live videos and interviews and then just talk shit. And then that's going to get them to fight. Like, yo, they got to stop to whereas all of these kids are just talking their way into the top pound for pound. Like, yo, I'm the greatest. I'm this, I'm that. You ain't beat a single fucking live dog yet.
Yep.
And you keep telling me, like, Ryan Garcia keeps telling us how great he is. He's the next this person. He's got the best hand speed, best power, the biggest fan base. Yo, who you beat?
Yep. I totally
like Devin Haney. Lomachenko scared of me. This person's scared of me. Yo, who you beat? Stop telling me. And this is why I like Loma. Because when Bob Arum has a guy that he knows can just seek and destroy, he'll let him go out and fight anybody. I don't think the majority of Loma's competition have been top ranked. Gary Williams wasn't top ranked. I mean, Gary Russell Jr. wasn't top ranked. I don't think Walters was top ranked. I'm not sure about Ringendahl. We know T.O. I think T.O. is. But that's been it. Like he'll let Loma go out and get those top guys in the weight class and put hands on them.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you are, you either got to handle it one or two ways. If you're the boxer, yo, go get me the fights that I want. I'm gonna find a new promoter. And if you the promoter, look, yo, I need you to fight these people, or I'm gonna put you on the shelf.
But they not
like it's that simple.
Because they don't have that, like you said, it's not one commissioner.
No, I'm talking about the promoter versus the fighter. They use each other to not make fights because the promoter will say the money's not there for the fight, and the fighter will say, I gotta fight the fights that my promoter sign up. Like, yo, no, he works for you. When you want the fight, make him make the fight happen.
That's my point. Because you got so many of them in that situation, and there's not no commission. Whereas Dana White in UFC, it is, I'm the promoter. I'm paying you XYZ
to make
this shit happen, and we gonna make it happen. That's why you get so many good fights on UFC, because they just fight each other. And then there's nothing wrong with what? Coming right back and having them fights again. Case in point, look what's getting ready to happen on Saturday. We got a trilogy for the heavyweight title in UFC between Miocic and Cormier. We getting ready to get it again. In boxing, if you knock a dude out, and it's kind of funny, we got a draw in Wilder versus Fury. Eddie, I'm gonna ask you this: who won that first fight?
Fury.
Fury wins the fight, but they call a draw because he got knocked down in the fight, right?
Yeah.
So he goes and they get a draw. Then they go and coincidentally we get a second match. Now we won't see that third matchup for another 3 years if we get it.
I'm about to say if we get it.
But that's the kind of fight though. Why would you need another one?
I don't. You know what? Wilder out here twerking in videos and shit. I don't want to see him fight no more.
Behind the fire pit.
I'm cool. And then he threw up the black power fist. Like I don't know how that kind of.
with a
Like
braid.
I don't know, what happened with that, but I don't want to see him fight right now.
Yeah, I don't want to see him fight. That's a bad matchup. Fighting Fury, it's not good for him.
At all. At all.
At all.
But again, I'm calling a spade. Ruiz fought against Joshua. Ruiz beat him, right? Immediate rematch. You get the
Because
second
Joshua
rematch.
was the money guy.
Yep. Joshua gets the immediate rematch. He washes him and gets his belts back. He's getting ready to fight Fury. Is Ruiz gonna get the winner of that fight?
No.
For what?
What you mean for what? He's got a credible win. He knocked out the champ.
But that way wasn't really credible. That's like Hakeem Rockman.
How many rounds did he go?
No, it was credible.
How many rounds did he go with Joshua the second time? It went the distance, right?
Yeah. He got outboxed for 12 rounds.
He got outboxed.
Yeah, he got beat up for them 20 rounds. Right?
Yeah, he got outboxed.
He didn't get beat up. He got outboxed. But he also came in out of shape and not having trained in such a way. Like Ruiz, for the people that like watch boxing, that was too dangerous of a fight for Anthony Joshua to take on short notice. Because Ruiz wasn't supposed to be who was fighting.
Yep.
Yeah, what you call failed the drug test, I think, and then Ruiz had to slide in to take the fight. So that was a troublesome fight to start with. And the reason that he's not gonna get a rematch isn't because it's not a credible win. It's because he's too dangerous of an opponent, and the money's not there.
Right.
Now he's about to be like Winky Wright. They're gonna treat him like the boogeyman.
Yep. Run away from him because he already got a credible win. And if I'm Ruiz, I'm at that fight when they fight Fury versus
I'm gonna tell you how they're gonna get rid of Ruiz. He's gonna end up fighting
Wilder.
Nope. He's gonna end up fighting it would have been Wilder because they both underneath Al Heyman, I think. Usyk from the cruiserweights.
Say it again.
If he fights Usyk from the cruiserweights, they're trying to get rid of him. The cruiserweight champion that just moved up.
I think he's gonna go against Wilder, and then they're gonna make that winner fight the winner out of that fight.
I don't know none of the cruiserweights names and shit. They all got wild, crazy.
Well, he's up now. He's a heavyweight. He came up.
Okay, not Dylan White, right?
No. Usyk, Thomas Usyk.
Oh, okay.
I think his first
Should
name.
I Greg, who wins the Joshua Fury fight?
Fury.
I want Fury to win. I think Joshua is the one that boxing wants to win because he's the younger fighter. But I think
he's the more exciting fighter outside of the.
Yeah. Outside he has the look.
He's
this
the one
Wilder fight. Outside of this Wilder fight, Fury fight's usually boring.
Yeah.
Right, because he doesn't have that it factor. He just can box.
He's gonna box. He's gonna box circles around Joshua, I think.
Plus, the thing about Joshua, he ain't got no chin.
Right. I think he's gonna outbox Joshua. I don't think that the Wilder fight's gonna happen because if Fury fights Joshua and beats him, he's just gonna retire.
Yeah.
Ain't no point. I don't need to fight
Wilder
again.
And
I just beat Joshua. I'm the guy. I'm out.
And what we'll have is after he wins and unifies and becomes the undisputed champion of the world, you'll have all of those sanctioning bodies, IBF, WBO, WBA. They'll have all these different fighters fighting for their one belt and fuck up the whole thing again. Instead of just saying, hey, look, he lost, Fury won and retired. All of the belts are here. Let's either have a four-person tournament of the top 4 fighters in the game in boxing, or
you don't even need 4 people. 2. Yeah, all you need is the guy that lost to him last, and whoever the next 2 guys. The next 2 guys, have them fight. Hey, you 2 guys fight. Whoever wins fights the guy that just lost. We got a champion.
And the way that it would work would be, and this is if Fury wins and retires now, Joshua waits, gets a tune-up fight, and the 2 guys that's supposed to fight next are supposed to be Ruiz versus Wilder.
Right.
And if Ruiz, whoever wins that fight, gets Joshua for the undisputed championship.
Makes perfect sense.
But they won't do it. And it's the same way I feel about with welterweights. Manny Pacquiao, he's a WBA champion. All right, cool. Have him fight against the IBF champion. Oh, that's Errol Spence. Oh, they don't want that fight because Now, if you beat Manny, that loses the luster of him saying that he's at the end of his career. And to be
But I don't
honest,
even think I don't even think that any of I think Freddie Roach doesn't want that fight. I think Manny would have took the fight. Earl Spence wanted the fight because that's the biggest money he can make.
uh-huh.
Al Heyman would have been fine with it. I think it's just Freddie Roach. And Freddie Roach said it. I think he said it before the Keith Thurman fight. Like they was gonna stay away from Earl Spence at one point during the training.
You can't stay away from the man that long when he trying to be the undisputed champion of a division.
You can't. Fighters been doing it for the last 10 years.
I'm just looking at it. My man got 2 belts. Talking about Earl Spence. Why would you want the Crawford fight now when they are the 2 fighters that's young and up and coming, still in boxing, where you can actually get a real trilogy? Somebody's got to get the Pacquiao fight. So if
I'm gonna say the same thing about this fight that I said about Floyd Manning. They always gonna drag it out because after that fight happens, there is nothing left.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I have them fight now when it's still a possible Manny Bud fight that I can get off and make money? It's still the Danny Garcia Earl Spence fight that I can get off and make money. And then I can still throw Earl in with Keith Thurman and make money. Why would I cut those 2 fights off just for the sake of this one when after the one, depending on how it go, it might be it. Like if one of them gets thrashed, it's over with. Like we don't need another one. And even if we have another one, it's not gonna be the same type or style of fight.
Manny Pacquiao?
What, 40? 39, 40, something like that.
How many fights do he really truly got left at a top tier?
I think 1.
Right. So you gotta get
he was done. Keith Thurman should have put him out of his misery, but he didn't.
That's what I'm saying. So like, all right, he's still fighting. He's 41. He turns 42 in December. Why not set up the fight either it be Bud or Spence right now and get that shit over with? Because you're not gonna get no more money out of it. Because
that's why it should be Bud.
Right. So that's fine. I wouldn't have a problem with it being Bud or Spence. But if it's Bud, cool. Then that means Spence has to fight Thurman. You know what I'm saying?
You can fight Danny Garcia.
No, that's a wash. Danny Garcia gonna wash him.
Not after the last fight. I don't think so.
Because against the last fight against Porter?
Yeah, because Danny Garcia hits way harder than Sean Porter. And if Earl Spence gets hit with the type of punches he got hit with against Sean Porter, I would like to see how he holds up. Because that left hook a motherfucker.
I get it. I agree. Look, we've seen it. We've seen it before. When he was when he won the WBC title.
You have a personal issue there with Earl Spence and Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman ducked Earl Spence for the better part of like 4 or 5 years. And now I'm the man and you have a need to fight me. And now you want to say my name when it was logical. You didn't want nothing to do with me or anybody else in the division that was, at where we are. Like, don't say my name now. Like, don't clout chase with me if you just got, smacked around by Manny Pacquiao. Go handle that or go fight somebody else.
Listen, I want to see some fights, man. It's getting the end of the year.
I want to see all the fights. It's like from 135 down to 126, it's like 10 fights you could make right now. And I want to watch all of them. I'd pay for them. Pay-per-view. All of them.
All you got to do is get ESPN Plus, man.
I got it.
That's all you got to do. But it looked like Eddie done chimed off. It looked like he done jumped out of here.
No, I didn't chime off. I'm setting up my fantasy. Sorry.
Look, he doing fantasy basketball. That's that bubble shit.
I couldn't do this shit in the bubble, yo.
Yeah, I'm doing it, and I just followed that Greek.
All you gotta do is get TJ Warren and Gary Trent Jr. and you win.
Oh, yo, we didn't even talk about Tio.
Go ahead, bring it up.
We didn't talk about him ducking and shit like his.
Oh well, yo, let's be real here. So, fight is set up between Lomo and Timo. 2 good fighters at 135, looking like they're going to unify the belts.
A fight set up at the request of Tio.
At the request of Lopez.
Mm-hmm. Who's been screaming Lomo's name for like a year and a half now.
And Lomo takes a pay cut. Now, mind you, I just said he's the number 1 pound for pound in the game. He took some pay cut, not once, but twice.
2 pay cuts.
To give you what you want. Remember, there's no fans going to be at the arena when they have the fight. So there's no gate that you can get any more money out of. So you got to do what you got to do. He takes a cut. He offers you the biggest payday that you can ever get, and you turn it down.
But no, you accepted at first and then don't sign a contract.
I'm talking about what he's doing now, which is turning it down. So that means he's ducking, big time ducking. Now, my debate and I have on this is, how is it that we can knock other guys for ducking when fights are never ever constructed, put out there, or anything? But when we get Lopez and Loma on paper, ready to go after the request of the challenger, we don't see or hear nothing about him ducking. I've never understood that shit.
Because the fans are biased. The fans are biased. All of the rules and issues that they have only depend on whether they like the fighter or not. Because the same people who have nothing to say about T.O. not signing the contract, wanting more money, will argue the exact opposite point if it was Floyd, if it was Manny, if it was Earl Spence, if it was Bud Crawford, if it was Wilder, if it was anybody else that they don't like, they would call him a fluke. He's ducking. He being lame. He's scared of the fight. Yada yada yada. But because they like T.O. because he's a knockout puncher, he's not gonna get that. He's not gonna get that issue. If it was anybody else in boxing that's not a knockout puncher, they would throw him under the bus. Anybody that's not a knockout puncher is getting thrown under the bus for that. Because his argument don't make sense. His argument don't make sense. Like, yo, he's getting 3 point whatever. I'm getting 1.2. I should be getting more money. Based on what?
Right.
Based on what? Based on what? Because if Bob Arum could make that kind of money off of you without putting you with Lomachenko, he would have did that. And he would have gave you the number 9 ranked
and
fighter.
Say, go ahead and make a little bit of extra dollars.
Go ahead and make 1.9 million off of this guy. He would have did it because I need to build you up so I can make 8, 9, 10 million off of you versus Lomachenko. There's nobody there. Nobody's clamoring to see Lopez fight. Not the average boxer. We talking about the people who just don't really watch boxing.
Right.
Like, because they always argue, oh, it's because he's Hispanic, and that whole Hispanic thing when they all come. All right, well, they can't come now, so what's the argument? There's no gate.
Yeah, I agree.
What's his beef? Oh, he got a belt. So he beat Richard Comey, who's a decent, like, he's a above level fighter, but that's not like him beating like say he would have beat Mikey Garcia for that belt.
Mm-hmm.
Something different. If he'd have beat Tank for that belt. Hell, if he'd have beat Gary Russell Jr. for that belt, and Gary Russell was coming up 2 weight classes.
Another ducker though.
He's the worst.
Mm-hmm.
He might be getting close to Keith Thurman level right now. It's only because that he talks so much.
Yep.
Like, yo, you talk a lot, you don't fight, and then when you do fight,
you'll fight
it's
once
nobody. Yeah, it's nobody that we want to see you fight. So it's like, yo, if you just shut up, it'd be cool. Like, they'd be like, all right, whatever, don't talk.
This is why when we was talking about this the other day about Leo fighting against Tank, I would have loved to see Leo Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell Jr. Like, straight up. Like, I don't want to see Leo versus Tank because I think Tank gonna knock him out. But when I see Leo versus Gary Russell, that would have been a good 12-round fight to me.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, granted,
Leo had problems with Carl Frampton's hand speed. I don't know if he'd been able to tolerate Gary Russell's hand speed.
Gary Russell got to fight for me, man. Like, after a while, that shit gets boring. Watching the same shit over and over and over again. I want to see him actually fight somebody, and he don't fight nobody. So
he ain't fought nobody since Johnny.
Yeah, and that's my issue. Like, you gotta get in there and get in the ring, man. You gotta get into the mix again, and he ain't doing it. But
yeah, he don't have the beef. Like, he don't have the promotional issues like everybody else. So I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm. Now, I do say this. I really want to see this. It's kind of funny that Leo's got his super featherweight title on the line and the lightweight titles on the line against Tank. So that's good. So this is gonna be a catchweight fight.
That part I don't know. I ain't seen too much about that. I thought it was gonna be at 135.
It's got to be at like 133 or something, because if they got both belts on the line, it's gonna have to be at a catch weight, which still
Yeah,
favors
if
Tank,
both
because
of
then
them.
he'll blow up and shit to like 145 or something, 150. Got to be with
Tank,
him.
he might have to. He might have to. Well, he was
Unless they got
already
a
at like.
number and they say that you guys can only go up to
He
135.
was probably already up there. 'Cause
Mhm.
last time I seen him on a YouTube video or something, he was kind of fat. But that was before he started training.
Yeah, that's the only other issue with him. His laziness. Where his laziness hurt him.
I think that's why he in Vegas now. I don't think they're gonna allow that to happen.
Yeah, because this is a big fight.
This is his fight. Like, this is it. This is your make or break.
Yo, what happened to this fighter? What happened to Chocolate Lito? Remember Chocolate Lito?
He just fought. He either just fought or he's about to fight. He lost.
That was my guy. I thought he was gonna be the guy of the future and shit.
He was after a while. He was like pound for pound number one or number two, and then he lost to I think one of the Russian fighters or something. I think he lost to the guy twice,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them was bad. And then it was just like I think he like semi-retired at one point. Then he came back. He either just fought recently or he's about to fight. He's still around. He's just not,
He like Nato Donaire. Remember
Yeah,
Donaire? Yeah.
he was way better. He's way better than Nito, but yeah, they just kind of they thrust him in front of you and said, "Hey, here's the next pound for pound king," and then it didn't pan out too well.
It's funny because
Long, long
he
term.
did win, because he still is technically the champion at I think at bantamweight.
Oh, Chocolatito?
Yeah, bantam.
I think he just got a belt. He just got a belt back on some interim shit. I can't remember how it happened. I lost track of him after the second loss or the loss that he had. I lost track of the shit. I think
Yeah, because he lost
whoever
the
the guy
same,
was, he lost
same guy twice, right?
twice. Yeah, the first time it was bad, and the second time it was like
Worse.
I think the second time was by. You know what? Let me look it up. I think the second time was by decision.
First time was by decision. I'm looking at it now. He got the majority of the decision on him the first time, and then the second time he knocked him out in the fourth round.
Yeah, so the second one was worse than yeah, and then he kind of like disappeared for it. But that's when they stopped pushing him. They stopped pushing him after that, so it was like he fell back into obscurity. It's kind of the same thing they doing with Oh my god. Oh, we fucked up. We left out of the top five. Inui. We left him out.
I had to put. I gotta put Fury there, man.
I don't know, yo. Inui might be in the top three.
I gotta go with my guy.
I feel so bad as a boxing fan. I feel bad that I even let that slide. My bad. I apologize to all of the boxing fans. I forgot completely about the motherfucker because he ain't fought in a while. But yeah, no, he's in the top five. I don't give a fuck who you take out.
Inui, but I like the bigger guy, so that's probably why for me. So.
I don't give a fuck who you take out after Canelo and Lomachenko. He's in the top five. Somebody got to move.
Inui is he ahead of Earl Spence Jr.?
Yes.
Whew. Oh shit!
I'm shocked with that.
It's not even a. I ain't even had to hesitate.
Damn. I don't know about that one, man. Like,
you know why?
You know
why?
He ain't.
No. Damn. If you watch him box, like
he got power though.
Yeah, and he has a better record and resume.
Yeah, but he fighting the little guys, man.
That's not his fault. He's a little guy.
Agreed. He did just beat my guy Donaire too.
Yeah, whooped his ass.
Yeah. Beat him like
he did whoop his ass.
He whooped his ass.
He did.
He beat Joe Lewis's ass.
He whooped Joe Lewis.
But even with all that,
first name is Alexander or something like that. But yeah, no, Nui's got to be in the top five, yo. I don't give a fuck who we take out. He's got to be in the top five.
Okay.
Take somebody out. You can take out Earl. You can take out Bud. You know what? Let's go Canelo. Canelo and Loma.
Yeah, they 1 and 2 to me, no question.
1 and 2. Flip it. I'm putting Inui at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put Bud at 4. And I like Earl to beat Bud in the fight. We all have this conversation all the time. I like Earl to beat Bud in the fight. But based on the resume, Bud 4. And then you still got the up and down at 5. Like you can throw Earl in there, you can throw Tyson Fury in there.
See, I got mine. Like I said, I got Loma, Canelo at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with my guy Spence. 4 is Bud. 5 is Fury, and right there at 6 is Inouye, and only because Inouye's small. You know what I'm saying? That's just my
But
own.
where do you put? So here's the question: where do we put Triple G? Because he only lost once.
Triple G right now for
The
me.
Canelo, and he lost. It was questionable.
I got Triple G at number 8 because you knew it would be 6. At 7 would be the one that just moved up to heavyweight, Alexander Usyk.
I don't even know how you pronounce his name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say his last name. I just know his
I think it might be pronounced Alexander, but it's Alexander or some shit like that.
It's Alexander Usyk.
Yeah, but
But
Usyk. Okay,
he's undefeated and he's
he
moving up.
is.
So I would have him there, and then I would have Triple G. And like you said, Triple G only got one loss. But the only thing about Triple G was his last 3 fights, he's won 1-1. You know what I mean? So like that's just his record. But even though the 1-1 on the back end is to the guy that's number 1 or number 2 in most of our opinions and shit of pound
Right.
better. So
And it's fucked up though, because if he wins the first fight to the level that it was supposed to go,
yeah,
he's in the top.
Boxing. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the top. Like that shit could have shifted the entire boxing realm. Because that first fight, he won by at least 3 rounds.
Yep. Won it with ease too.
Yeah, he won that fight. They just it was like I said with the Jeff Horn shit, yo.
But you know what? I'm gonna fall back on that statement because I'm gonna be 100% real. Danny Jacobs had him beat too.
He did.
Danny Jacobs had him beat, and then the referees called it. Eddie got the knockdown. The referees went with Canelo. I mean with Triple G, which kind of was fucked up because I thought he had him.
He definitely gave Triple G a run for his money. He could have lost that fight. I had him still winning that fight, but it was close.
And I got.
But again, how much of that is us giving credence to the guy who just looked better than we thought he would look?
Yeah.
Because I think Triple G got points stacked away from him by the fans when he stopped knocking people out. Like, yo, if you're still winning the fight, you're not knocking people out. I'm like, oh no, he looked bad. No, he just didn't knock him out. He still won the fight with ease. He just didn't knock him out. So you're taking points away from him because he didn't knock him out. Like, you're not supposed to score that way.
Let's finish this up because we got 1 minute. I'm gonna go rapid fire. What's the best knockout of all time that you've seen?
That's how I can't do that in a minute. I don't know.
Well, for mine, just because it's funny, it's Zab Judah.
Zab Judah.
That was the funniest one.
That's the. I'm gonna tell you the one. This one, I know you remember this one, Eddie. We came over to your house to watch this fight. We thought we was gonna miss it because I knew it was gonna be a knockout. But when Pacquiao knocked out Ricky Hatton and beat his ass out,
I wouldn't call that the best though.
No, that's the case.
It's funny.
It's you know what the funniest one?
The Pacquiao knockout.
That was the funniest one. The Marquez knocking Pacquiao out was the funniest one I ever seen. Because the memes and everything that happened after that, we laughed at that shit for like 2 months.
The Lion King shit.
We laughed at that one, and we laughed at the Adrian Broner in between the ropes.
That was a funny one too. But
he ain't get knocked out. Yeah, he just got his ass beat.
But this is another one. This is another one here. When Amir Khan got destroyed by Canelo and shit, and he ate that.
I say which time, because he always get destroyed. Which knockout for Amir Khan?
When Amir Khan got knocked the hell out with the right hand, and he went to sleep, and Canelo walked over to him and dropped to his knees like he was praying.
He definitely died.
He was like, "Oh my God, I killed him in the ring."
I killed him.
Yo,
yeah,
that was a vicious knockout, yo. Boy, or this one, Mike Tyson when he knocked out the dude with the fro. It took his whole left side of his face.
Oh yeah,
that was another one. Also, breaking news that just came across my phone. 2 things actually. Roy and Mike Tyson
postponed to November.
So that exhibition fight, you don't got to get your pay-per-view money yet. You can wait till.
That's because what's they need gonna die. He trying to live.
I'm paying for that shit anyway.
He gonna
about to fire stick that one.
He's gonna die.
I wasn't paying the $59.99 for that one.
No, I'm not paying.
Hold on. Who paying money for that?
I'm not paying $59.99 for that one.
All right, that's one thing. Let's go to the next thing. Giannis is getting oral mouth surgery done today, and he's out.
Yo,
That
just say,
bubble
you
boy.
know what? Don't say oral next
That
time.
bubble boy.
Just say, Giannis getting surgery, yo, on his mouth or something. When you say, yo, he getting
Nah,
oral,
they-
and then
they-
pause
they-
and
they
say
only-
mouth surgery.
They supposed to play in Dallas today, right?
No, they
Who
play in
they playing
Toronto. They play in Toronto.
Oh, but guess what though?
So that's
He
gonna be
just
their
myster-
excuse.
Listen, no, he mysteriously had to have mouth surgery when Van Vliet, Kyle Lowry, they not playing today either. So it's kind of like, all right, well, if they're not playing, we can go ahead and sit.
It's like I told everybody.
God.
It's like I told everybody. The bubble was nothing for most of these teams because they already knew who they were going to be matching up and playing. Milwaukee knew they were number one. Toronto knew they were number two. Lakers knew they were number one. It's just about who they felt like playing against. I think the game like the other day, watching the Lakers against the Pacers, they wanted to fill some shit out. It's kind of funny. Dion Waiters, J.R. Smith didn't even touch the floor. So
they didn't get no burn.
So you already know the Lakers are going to try. They're trying to get their playoff rosters right. You know what I mean?
And the other game, McGee didn't play. So I think Vogel just trying to figure out what works for what until Rondo come back.
Yep. Caruso, I like Caruso, but now I got to retort on one of the shit I said. Caruso can't play long minutes because he's gonna get fucked up.
Yeah, he's just there a fill until Rondo get back. We know what the start lineup is going to be.
Yeah. Well, this has been another good one, man, in the books. I appreciate it. BSN presents Tell the Truth.
Wake me up, shit.
Yeah, it's okay, man. You up? You can go back to sleep now. You can go back to sleep.
Now the game on now.
Oh, okay. Marcus, I appreciate you, bro. Having a good one. He on the mute tip. He probably doing some work and shit now. He probably focused and shit. That's all.
No, he just is he frozen?
No, he on the mute, so he probably focused on his job. It's okay. We
right,
gonna close. We gonna close with the tilt. You know what I'm saying? We gonna close. There you go.
There you go.
We back now. We can keep it close with the tilt. But it's been a good one. I appreciate y'all. It's been good. Check us out on YouTube. We're gonna have it on Facebook like always. We stream them.
Share.
I like the YouTube aspect of it now, man. Now we just gotta get people to keep clicking the link and subscribe. Send them to
They can have some wine. They can get something to drink.
See, look,
you gotta show them the link. You gotta show them the link. Like, yo, you gotta subscribe to my links.
You can't point down and say show them the link.
There's another link. Glizzies, we out.